Do it.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Sitcast Podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Star Wars. We got a really special show tonight. We got some special guests. Let's get straight to introducing them. First off, this guy is a returning guest for our podcast. We got the famous Marcel MC. What's up, Marcel?
Hey man, thanks for having me on.
The show again. Good to have you back, man. And I see something really awesome in your back there.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later. Hopefully, I'll be talking about it. Sean's involved in my scheme, and yeah, we'll get in on that. Thanks for having me back, man. This is one of the classiest shows online, so I'm
thank you.
Super honored to be a part of it each and every time. So thank you so much, man, for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you hopping back on, man. We had a great time with you the first time, so we were like, "Yep, got to have you back again." So welcome back. All right, so another guest that we have on for today's show is none other than the Cannoli Crusader, Dom.
What's up? What's up?
Dom.
I'm here just to disagree with everything you say regarding Star Wars.
That's why I really was holding out and trying to get you on the show. You were like, "Yo, PJ, what's going on, man? Where's my invite?" I was like, "Oh man, I was hoping you didn't notice." So I guess you did, and here you are.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason why I brought you on the show because I really want to discuss our trades. You know, Dom and I, we have we go back and forth. I usually offer him a really good trade for one of his amazing pieces. One of the things I'm trying to chase after is his Darth. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Talon.
Darth Talon.
No, you'll never have her.
Oh no, dude, I'm telling you, man, I got a really nice package deal for you, dude.
So just so you guys know, when he says good trade, it's usually absurdly leveraged on his side. It's the most ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous trade. He's like, "I'll give you some mezcos for your Darth Talon."
Yeah.
Like,
I'll give you.
what?
I'll give you the Hot Toys Ant-Man.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna give you this 1/10 scale, brand new, never opened Mandalorian statue for Darth Talon.
And the other $900, where's that going to be, in the back of a truck?
Yeah, I'll pay you in IOUs. So
yeah.
Well, I love this guy, man. Him and I have been friends for 3-4 years now, and I met him a couple times, hung out with him. We hung out in New York Comic-Con, some barbecues, and really stand-up guy. We have our discussion about our distaste for the sequels. So that's the only thing that we have in common most of the time. No, I was kidding. Yeah, but no, we have a lot of stuff in common besides that. But I'm glad to have you on. But let's actually address the chat and get to our topics for tonight. We got Duck Collector in the house. What's up, Duck Collector? Thank you for hopping on the show. We got Jeff, aka Star Wars Addict 77. What's up, Jeff? Thank you for tuning in. We got Doug Collector #1. What's up, Doug Collector? We got Robin Bowman in the house. What's up, Robin? Thank you for tuning in. Oh, who else is here? Nemesis Prime. What's up, Nemesis? Oh man, guys, if you guys haven't got a chance, please check out Nemesis Prime's podcast, which is the Comic-Con podcast. Actually, I listen to it basically every week, and that's my go-to for pop culture news, comic book collecting. I get a lot of tips and tricks because nowadays Star Wars comic books have been on the rise. So there's been a lot of key issues that have been really been like getting some traction and getting pretty expensive out there. So yeah, please check out Nemesis Prime. We're actually going to talk about his newly opened Ahsoka premium format. So we're going to share some of his pictures. We got RMD Collective. What's up, RMD? Thank you for tuning in. And got to meet you out in Celebration. What's up, Benjamin Bowman? What's up, Ben?
What's up, Ben?
Ben and Robin are going to hop on our show next week. So looking forward to having them on the show. We got Michelle Nooney. What's up, Michelle, aka Glossy Bees? We're going to talk about the special exclusive that she did for us, which is Anakin as Vader. So, and yeah, what's up, Facebook user? I'm not sure who you are, but what's up? All right, so let's.
PJ, you're going out to Celebration?
Yes, I am. I'm debating though. See, here's the thing. I really want to go to ICCC. And I feel like I'll probably have a better opportunity to meet some of my favorite Star Wars characters and actors out there, as opposed to Celebration, where it's a big mess. I'm on the fence. Plus, I get to hang out with Sean and you know, Anthony, aka BMX Jedi. So I don't know. It's like, what do I do? Like, do I pick a smaller con and just enjoy myself with like some of my close friends, or do I go out to Celebration? You know, some of these panels that they show in the con, you get to watch them online, right? So I don't know. I'm still debating. It's a lot of money. let's put it this way. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
You know, hotels, you know, tickets, you know, airplane tickets, you know. So we'll see. I don't know. Still debate. And then, you know, Lee, by the way, Lee Lee Batten in the house. He's having a barbecue, and I think there's some hot tub get together involved. I think in our
always with Lee, you can count on a hot tub.
Yes. So yeah, there's so many things, man. And there's so many things coming out, especially some of amazing artwork by you, Marcel. Let's actually get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, let's jump on it.
Yeah. So, Marcel, for the people that are listening, watching, that are new to your work, can you just introduce yourself and you know, how you got into doing, you know, some of your amazing artwork and things like that?
No problem. So I'm kind of an old school Star Wars fan. Saw A New Hope in 1977. Dating myself. So I'm 52, and I've been into Star Wars since it dropped. Star Wars was a huge inspiration for me as a kid, and you know, the whole films and Ralph McQuarrie and all the design. It's just amazing. So I got into doing these large scale pieces a few years ago, and about last November, we opened up our first site, and things have been going really, really well. So I do traditional techniques using pen and ink style. So all of my pieces, like this Emperor piece behind me here, are done with pen and ink. So they're 30 by 40, pretty large size. I select the image that I'm going to use, which is usually some kind of film frame or legacy image that relates to the character. Lay down the pencils and get to work doing the inks. So because of this large size, they take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So this Palpatine image was about 5 months in the making. And so I focus on hyperrealism and Star Wars. So for me, it's a labor of love. You know, 5 months on one piece might sound like a long time, but to capture, you know, this high resolution detail that I really enjoy is very relaxing and meditative for me. So recently, if you go back to the previous one, it'll just show you sort of a work in progress. So this is some of my stuff here.
This one?
Yeah, this is the Vader piece that I did, and that features the type of pens that I use. They're a Japanese pen from Sakura. They're called Sakura Micron pens, and yeah, they're pretty large scale stuff. I've done, you know, I mostly stick to the original trilogy, but you know, anything that's Star Wars is up for grabs. So I don't know if you want to cycle through the images or not. There are a few of them at the beginning there are just what I do and what I've done.
Okay. Sorry. They're like kind of like out of order.
Are
I
they?
downloaded them and then they just rearranged them in a certain way.
It's okay. It's all right. If you want, you can. I think in the show notes, you can stop there. Actually, that's a good place to stop. In the show notes, my website is there, and the Instagram community is there. So right now, what we've done is we've dropped this signature series. So usually we just do a print run. And what we were trying to do is come up with something new and different. So a few months back, we introduced plaques, which is pretty typical to people's collections. They like to have plaques. It sort of elevates each piece to a kind of museum quality of presentation. And then this opportunity for ICCC jumped up. And of course, everybody knows Ian McDermott's going to be there. Anthony Daniels are going to be there. So what happened was we got some plaques designed, and I was supposed to go to ICCC. So I know, PJ, you have your concerns about going there. I thought it was going to be super easy for me to go there. Vancouver to Nashville is not super complicated, or so I thought. And I didn't think it was going to be that expensive. And the stay at the hotel in Nashville is actually not that expensive, but what ended up happening was the flight was, because of gas prices, I guess, right now, is completely insane. And the stopover in like Toronto or I think maybe Chicago was like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it kind of killed our plans to go. So but before I get more into that, what ended up happening is we decided that we were going to do 2 signature series. Oh yeah, that's the mall piece. So you can see the scale of the piece that I work on, that I do. They're pretty large. We're hoping to add the Darth Maul to the signature series, maybe this year or next year. Basically, getting a signature series packaged together means being able to hop on a plane and go somewhere, or asking someone from the community if they can do that for me. So I guess I may as well mention that brings us here to Sithcast, where Sean has offered to, I reached out to Sean. I was like, yo, bro, all of my plans to go were kind of decimated by gas prices and stopovers. So Sean's going to be bringing some of the plaques to Anthony Daniels and Ian McDermott, and also Nilda from Appetite for Collectibles. Big shout out to her. She will be bringing a couple as well. I'm not sure how many she'll be bringing. I haven't sorted that out yet. Not many, but if not for these two, this signature series would not be happening. I mean, basically. So, what I'm really happy about is being part of a community that, we are all working together. I have the opportunity to come on this show. I've been on a lot of different shows, Eben's show, Collection Wars, Hyperdrive. And it's really fantastic meeting people. And I love being able to work with folks in the community to pull this off. So thank you very much, Sithcast. Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you, Nilda. So the signature series was an amazing success. We had 8 for each print, and the Emperor sold out in 2 minutes. All 8 were gone.
That's crazy.
First 2 minutes. So this is why I had to ask Nilda if she could come in, because we added 8 more. And I think 3 of those are gone. So from the Ian McDermott signature series, only 5 are left. And from the Anthony Daniels 3PO series, there's only 2 left. So from the signature series, 5 Ian McDermotts remain and 2 C3PO, and the ordering for those ends tomorrow night at midnight. So if you would like to get one, hop on over to my site and order one. There's a slight difference I should let you guys know about, is that the Ian McDermott one is full purchase. As soon as the plaques get back here in May, the prints and the plaques go out right away. And for Anthony Daniels, it's just a deposit. So we're asking people to place a deposit to reserve their copy. And what that means is that they just throw down a bit of cash, basically covers the signature signing fee and the cost of the plaque. And then that ships in fall, where people will receive the balance, the invoice for the balance of that. So Ian McDermott goes out right away in early May, and C-3PO goes out at the end of the summer or early fall. So right now on the website, what we have are the signature series remaining, and for the Emperor, the standard 16 by 20 and the 30 by 40. So yeah, if you stop right there, or if you go back, the 16 by 20 comes with this plaque here. If you select it, you don't have to get it. But people really seem to like the plaques a lot. So that's the 16 by 20 plaque. It's just got my signature on it. But these signature series, of course, the main event is the actors. So yeah, that's the latest news from me and our site and what we're doing. We are looking at doing some new things next year. We have a schedule for new print drops for the rest of 2022. I have a schedule for 2023. And we're trying to do incorporate some new things, which are surprises. I know you were asking me about them earlier. Maybe I could talk about them. I would prefer to leave them as surprises.
Yeah, let's leave them as a surprise.
Basically, sometimes I get an email or a DM from a collector or sort of like an art collector, and they have some ideas for me, and I do my best to incorporate them. So we're super excited. This has been going really, really well. And I'm really looking forward to adding more to the signature series. This has been mad success.
Now, Marcel, excuse me. I was going to ask you on this 3PO. Now, is that black ink on paper?
So this C-3PO here is a mock-up, and it's the piece that I'm going to be working on over the next 4 months.
Okay.
So you can see the bottom cuts off. I'm going to be adding more detail to the bottom so that his, there's just a bit more on his neck there that you would normally see attributed to the character. Okay. This is an image scooped from, there's a magazine that was recently published with Anthony Daniels holding the original C-3PO headpiece, and that's what this is. So this is a mock-up, and yeah, this is basically what I'll be doing. It'll be a black and white piece. It'll look just like this. Like the Emperor is also black and white as well.
Now, the paper you're on, it's got a texture to it, correct?
Yeah, the paper I'm using does have a texture to it. It's 300-pound watercolor paper. It's not super textured. But for the print, that paper also has a texture on it. So in the printing process, we shoot the original, and you don't want like the texture from the original showing up on the texture of the print, right?
Right.
So the fine art print paper has its own texture.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really premium paper stock.
Nice.
Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of share Lee's display of these amazing pieces. So as you can see, they're Lee has the plaques as well.
Yeah,
it's got a nice frame around it, and it has a lot of presence, and that's what you want out of an art print, right? You want something that is something like a lot of collectors or even just anybody that comes over your house gravitate towards, right?
Yeah. What you have with the 16 by 20 is a piece that can go pretty much anywhere in your home. So if you have your Star Wars cave and you're married and you're like, hey, this is a fine art print, this can go in the hallway. But if you are going larger with like a 30 by 40, this is what is usually referred to as a feature piece. So it's usually goes on your feature wall. So if you have a large enough space to accommodate a piece like this, it's, you know, sort of the main thing that your eye goes towards when you walk into a room.
Yeah.
So 16 by 20 or 30 by 40, they each kind of fit into spaces differently, and they serve a different purpose.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and one thing about these pieces too is that, like, if you have them lined up in a row, it just creates this, I don't know, very elegant display of Star Wars artwork, you know, and you can see it with this on this wall, on Lee's wall, how great it looks. So
yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Lee's done a really great job. Some of the other collectors, they've sent me images of their spaces. Some of these homes are just like, they're these massive, well lit, you know, spaces that I would only ever dream of living in. And, you know, they just look fantastic. And these people are collectors, and you know, they really enjoy doing as much as they can with whatever piece it is that they happen to acquire. So, you know, my goal is to basically, I want, year over year, I want to try to introduce new things and bring new ideas forward for the community, you know, to try to make things different. Once you've basically hit kind of new level for yourself, you want to be thinking, you know, 1 or 2 steps ahead, like how can I make this, how can I iterate on this and make it even better? And again, that's where the community comes back in. You know, I can talk to you guys, I can talk to Gabe, I can talk to Lee. I've got a lot of collectors that, you know, they're throwing ideas at me all the time. So I just love serving the community. This is my passion. I just love doing it. And so I'm so happy to have this opportunity. It's been working out really well.
Now, do you have any of the Boba Fett still in stock?
To be perfectly honest with you, my wife handles all of that stuff.
Okay.
I can't keep track of everything. I'm kind of a people person. I'm working in here all day and sort of connecting with people. So like for this project, you know, the signature series, I reached out to you, Sean, and, you know, we're talking about how are we going to organize this, and talking to Nilda and talking to you both at the same time. And so for how many things we have in stock, some things are sold out, some things are not. I 100% can't keep track of all that stuff. So, you know, like mad kudos to my wife, Nancy, for handling the back end on this business.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you know, amazing work, Marcel.
Thanks.
I think your artwork speaks for itself. And that's one thing we forget as collectors, right? Is that we get all these amazing pieces, whether it be prop replicas, helmets, statues, hot toys. But, you know, what makes your collection elevate to the next level is a good artwork or art print. And, you know, grabbing one of Marcel's work or even Michelle's work, just like, I'm telling you, it just brings your collection, it makes it alive, in my opinion, you know. So Marcel, thank you, number one, for making these amazing work, these artwork. You know, like I said, your art speaks for itself. It looks great. And I mean, looking at, and that's why I brought up some collectors, you know, walls, like Lee's wall and Colin's wall, just because people have an idea and how it looks, you know, in your collection, and how it, like, it elevates it to the next level. And you know, I'm really excited for your signature series, and really excited what you have in the works, especially the Darth Maul.
Yes,
I think a lot of people have their eyes on that, so we're really,
it's coming.
We're really excited for that.
We're basically following around where Ray Park is going to be, and I've got to jump on a plane and intercept him. So easier said than done, but hopefully it will happen sooner rather than later. I just wanted to mention one last thing before wrapping up my segment, for which thank you guys very much for you know, giving me this platform. I really appreciate it. a lot of people, well, not a lot, some people DM me, after I appear on these shows, and what they say is, I haven't been drawing for like 20 years or 25 years or whatever. And you've really inspired me to, have we lost PJ?
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You've inspired me to, get back at it. And I really love receiving DMs like this and communicating with people about their creativity. And I just want to use this opportunity to remind people, if you've got some kind of passion, something that you love to do, artwork, playing music, of course, how you choose to present your statues and all of that stuff is equally a creative outlet as any other. Make the time for yourself to nurture that and find like one or two people who are willing to support you in what it is that you're doing. They don't have to give you any money. They don't have to even like what it is that you're doing, but just having someone around that can support you and cheer you on and encourage you will change your life like 100%. It will motivate you to keep going. Just one tiny voice outside of your own head. And for those of you, a lot of us are parents and we have kids. If you've got kids that want to do the same thing, just give them the space they need to be as creative as possible. And all you have to do as a parent is just support them. Just be there in their moment of doubt about whether they should continue or not, and just say, yeah, absolutely, keep it going. And it could really change. You could really change your own life. Of course, you could change the life of your kids. Before I was doing this, I was teaching, and one of the things on the last day of school I would say to my kids was, from the beginning of time, every single set of events, whether you're religious and you believe in some kind of God, or whether you believe in evolution, it's the same one and the same thing. Every single stage of like literally reality has resulted in this opportunity for you to exist. And what are you going to do with it? You have a choice. I would tell my students, you can go and follow your career goals, or you can invest in yourself. And if your career goals and your investment in the dreams that you have line up, that's great. But quite often they don't. So we at every moment, we have an important decision to make about how we want to live through this opportunity that we have. And I would just strongly encourage everybody, if I could just use this platform moment that I have available to me, to follow your love, to go after your creative enthusiasm, the thing that motivates you. And I think that what you're going to find is that if you give yourself just half a chance, you'll find 100% more happiness. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Hey,
Well
Marcel,
said,
I've got a quick question. I in an unrelated hobby, I do some acrylic painting, but I always find it amazing when you have hyper realistic artwork like this. And one thing I always wonder is, when you're looking at the original image, right?
Yeah.
Are you embellishing the reflections, or are you trying to go, because I'm assuming the image isn't perfect, right? And how do you in your mind's eye decide the reflections? Are you looking at like another example of like a metallic, like for example, like Boba Fett? Are you looking at something in real life to see how the light bounces off of it? Like, how do you make those decisions?
So if you can, PJ, if you can go to the mall picture, just click through until you land on the mall.
Yeah, I could share that screen. Hold on one
so
second.
Right now I'm working on a piece. I don't want to show it to you just yet. Can you go to the close-up one?
Oh, sure. One second. Let me go through this. There.
There's one that's just the eyes.
Oh, just the eyes.
Is it there?
I don't know. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, okay. So I have not added like anything. This was the only Ray Park image I could find that was actually him. Like a lot of them were statues, stuff like that, like really dope, badass looking statues, but it wasn't actually Ray Park. So no, to answer your question, Dom, I just go with the what I see on the image.
Okay.
There's a and so when you're doing hyper realistic art, so I have to give a shout out to Lee. Like the piece that I'm working on right now, it's a Collection Wars. It's a piece for Collection Wars. It's the Macquarie Vader helmet, and Lee sent me like 20 photos plus like 3 videos. So he walked around, the piece and sent me all kinds of photos in different lighting and stuff like that. And from all of those images, Dom, I select one and I work from that. And I can't think of the word, but I don't put any of my own knowledge about how light reflects or the shine on metal functions under light.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
A lot of people who do hyperrealism, for example, and I would like to get here one day, is they have their own subjects and their own photographers and their own studio, and they shoot the image exactly how they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they set the lighting exactly how they want it. Of course, I'm nowhere near that. That's an extremely expensive proposition. But one day I hope to get there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
You're buying one, Dom?
Well, it looks awesome. I mean, I would love to. I've got a perfect wall for it too. Nice big bare wall. So
yeah, it'll come out as soon as we can get, with Ray Parks. Basically.
Yeah, I'm getting this one.
Yeah, me too. Well,
it's the most popular one I've ever done.
Dom, when you add to cart, add 2. So
yeah, I know the drill. Add 2.
Make it 3, Dom. Make it 3.
Yeah, thinks I'm making money.
Yeah. Oh, if you just you won't make any money if you sell me your Darth Talon. Anyway, well, Marcel, beautiful work. I can't wait to see what you have in the future. The Signature series is something that is a really added bonus, not to only have like your artwork, but to have the person that you you drew or you have on the art print, the signature of that character. So that's pretty awesome. And I can't wait to see what else you have in store for us. So, so
me too.
Yeah. Well,
it'll be cool.
So just really quick, Marcel, where can I already put it? I plugged it in the chat, but just in case for the people listening, where can they find you and your work?
Instagram, M_. Is it on the screen here? I can't really see it. That's my Instagram right there. So come follow me at Instagram. That'll be great. If you have any comments or whatever, I always love to chat with people. And www.marcel Chenier.com. That's our website. Go check out the website, see the gallery there, and see what's on sale. And the Signature series, C-3PO, 2 left, and Emperors, there's 5 left. So we've done super well with this, and I look forward to doing more. But these close out tomorrow night, midnight Pacific.
Okay. Well, so for people interested, hop on it before these sell out. And amazing work again, Marcel.
Yeah, thanks.
Your work speaks for itself, and really, for the people that pick these up, I'm sure you guys know that you guys are really, really fortunate to have these amazing pieces. So. All right, so let's actually move on to our other segment for tonight, which we usually do every week. It's one of my favorite ones, and that is Star Wars bounty pickups. So we're gonna start off with the Cannoli Crusader himself, Dom. So, Dom, any recent Star Wars bounty pickups?
So, funny you mentioned that. Darth Talon was my last purchase. So,
Okay.
So long story short, I had Darth Talon years ago, and it's the one piece that I sold that I regretted highly for selling because post Disney Star Wars, you will probably never see another piece like it. It speaks to me. I love her, and you can't have her. So that's my.
Oh, come on, damn it!
Final answer. Final answer.
I
So
guess I
that's-
have no use for you. Goodbye.
I did get also. I did get Cara Dune also. Some sideshow.
Oh, you did get it in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't opened mine up yet, but no, I got mine too. Any other Star Wars bounty pickups, Tom?
Well, I pre-ordered Grievous from Sideshow.
Oh
I don't know if that
yes.
I don't know if that counts, but that's the only one that's that and the Vader. Because believe it or not, I don't have a Vader. I don't have any Vader,
How
which
dare
is like
you.
weird. It's weird because you're like, wow, there's kind of a gap here. It doesn't make any sense. Kind of one of the most important characters, and I don't have it. So
Yeah.
I got the most recent that one from Sideshow on pre-order. So
The premium format or the Mythos?
the premium format. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't want to do the 1/5 scale anymore, right?
Yeah, I have the I'm looking at them right now. I have the line so far: the Palpatine, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, and Ventress. But I don't know; they don't really fit in with the rest of my collection. So it might be if someone ever wanted them, I probably would sell them. No one's asked, but they just don't fit in. So
Yeah. Well, congrats on your recent pickups, especially the Darth Talon.
yeah.
I'm here.
I'm
I'll be
surprised
waiting.
I beat you through it because I got it from oh geez, I got
Thor.
it from Thor, yeah. So I gave him an offer he couldn't refuse, and I didn't think he would take it. I gave him the offer live on his show in the chat, and he messaged me like 3 hours later. He's like, "Hey, were you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." That's how that
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece, and I just think that like if Talon ever shows up in some sort of like sequel era, movie or something, I think that piece will go up in value. Talon was supposed to be the main villain or one of the main villains for the sequels in George Lucas's version. Unfortunately,
was she really? She was supposed to be one of the. Oh,
she was
wow.
supposed to be the main, one of the main villains, and I wonder how that would have played out on the big screen. If we got to see
Probably better.
Oh, 10 times better.
Probably
10 times
better.
better. Don't get me started now. You guys know how I get started. I get sidetracked into, to a black hole of sequel hate. So
it would be great because then Marcel could do a piece on Darth Talon, which would have been freaking like probably the greatest thing ever. Now that I think about it.
Oh yeah, Darth Talon, and she's such a badass character. And that's one thing we're missing in Star Wars is a female badass villain. Really?
Yeah,
you're right.
We don't have one.
We don't have one, and I feel like if we had one, it would be so awesome. And to be honest, I kind of wanted that in Rey. Like I really was hoping that Rey would actually just turn against Finn and Poe and be like, really be a Palpatine,
Yeah.
But that didn't end up happening.
That would have been against the grain enough that it would have been interesting. It would have been like, wow, okay,
yes,
that was unexpected, and then you'd be like, okay, this was cool. You didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, and I think that would have played out so much better. I just think we need a female badass villain.
Yeah, and then they kill Phasma. She was cool.
Oh, she was cool too. Yeah, she was.
She's gone. It's like, what the heck?
They killed Phasma, but it was like you knew nothing about her. They just
Mhm.
kind of threw away the character, kind of like they threw.
That was a crime. Like
it was.
Yeah, Phasma and the main villain, Snoke.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys, if you want to really trigger me, I can start talking about the sequels, and I'll go on. I'll take up the whole show. But
No, well, I'm with you on that one, man. Like, every single time like someone says sequels, I go and then like go like 30, talk about it for 30 minutes and just like express my distaste for it.
Streaming is showing hope. Star Wars is still alive. After the sequels, so I have very, very, very high hopes for the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, me too.
If it fails me, it's really gonna hurt my feelings like a lot.
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt Disney worse.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt their feelings in their pocket. But those are some mighty big shoes. Just the name Obi-Wan, it's like you can't. I mean, listen, I know there's a lot of Boba Fett fans out there, but let's be real. Boba Fett didn't have that much screen time in the original movie. So everyone kind of filled in the blanks on how amazing Boba Fett is in their mind, right? So even though that show was okay, but an Obi-Wan show, if you cannot mess this up, if you mess this up, it is a colossal failure. It has to be amazing. It can't just be good. It has to be amazing.
It really does, especially coming on the heels of Boba Fett. Boba Fett was not liked. This thing has to, it's got to be a winner. We need it.
Yeah.
Disney's going to need it. Yeah.
One of the things I keep hearing, and I'm guilty of it also with Star Wars, is like some people are like, oh, at least we're getting content. We're getting content. But like mediocre content does not keep a fandom alive for 25 years. Right. So the original trilogy was, I think we can all agree, was awesome. And when you had the drought for like 15 years of nothing Star Wars, it was so good that we all kept it alive. If they keep pumping out kind of like okay stuff, it's gonna go the way of the dodo. That's my
I agree, and I think I was I was one of the ones that did say that at least we're getting content, and I've been
I was throwing a jab. That was me.
I know. You should hear our conversations on Instagram, by the way. No, but like I agree, and I agree. It's just one of those things that like it's almost like the Marvel effect now, right? Like we're like we got like the best of the best. We got, well, not the best of the best. I think, and Dom will disagree with me on this one. X-Men is the best of the best. But I know, see. But we had like Avengers, right? And then now we're getting everything like that, really like those B characters, C characters. And I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. I know this is a Star Wars show as well, so I'm not gonna get too sidetracked. But Doctor Strange, like, really, who like is a comic book collector or like someone that grew up with these characters? You're not gonna, hey guys, I want to be Doctor Strange for Halloween. Here's Iron Man, Wolverine, like maybe Thor.
I don't think Doctor Strange is scraping too far.
But like, if Doctor Strange is the best character in like the Marvel universe right now, I mean, we got one of the best Spider-Man just came out, but anyway, just long story short, like I feel like Star Wars is going to go through that process where they're just going to give, it's like the shotgun effect, like whatever's going to stick is sticking. So they're going to give you every content as possible, right? Because they need to build up their streaming service. We're going to get some mediocre stuff, we're going to get some okay stuff, and then we're going to get good stuff. And I agree with you, Dom. Like, we should not keep getting like mediocre stuff consistently. We should get a good hit once in a while.
Yeah, if you're gonna spend, what is it? How much they spend on Star Wars? $5 billion, right? $5 billion, right? That's a lot of money. For me, I'm not sitting on $1 billion anywhere. But if you're gonna spend that kind of money on an IP, you got to really put some love into it. I mean, as cheesy as that sounds, there's got to be some heart. I think Lucas said it himself. I think when he sold them the IP, he's like, put heart in it, make it about family. That's what people, they cling to that. If you make it kind of like sterile, like just sterile entertainment, it's not going to work. That's the reason why the original trilogy works for me. Whenever, and I get goosebumps. My favorite is Return of the Jedi. When Darth Vader turns on the Emperor, and maybe it's because I have two sons, like he does it because, you know what? I don't care about the dark side, the light side. That's my son. And I'm not going to turn my back on him. I don't care who you are. That's really powerful. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice because I'm getting over a cold, but the sequels have none of that. There's no heart.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, and that's what it comes down to. And you make a great point about Boba Fett, right? So Boba Fett's, I think that's why this show that we got was like, some people liked it, some people didn't. I just because Boba Fett has like such a small screen time that people, like you said, filled in the blanks. They created their own canon in their head of who Boba Fett was, and then when you get that on screen, like, and it's not doesn't align up to what you're like lines up in your head canon, then it's a disappointment. I think that goes for, I think in the most part, for a lot of Star Wars fans, because we, especially when you have that little lull, there's no like extra, like, you should say like extra TV shows or extra movies to kind of fill in the blanks. And now that Disney's doing that, and we already built this like head canon in your head, like, okay, this is supposed to be Kenobi, this is Anakin, this is this, and then if it doesn't line up to exactly what your expectations is, then people get really disappointed. So it's a good and bad thing, as well, as because it shows that we're very passionate Star Wars fans. At the same time, it's also against us because we're very, very like our expectations are always high when it comes to these characters that we grew up with.
Yeah, and we've had 40 plus years to build it up in our head. I mean, that is like set in stone.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to change with 7 or 6 episodes,
Yeah. So, well, anyways, back to the Star Wars bounty pickups. Congratulations.
Sorry, I derailed.
It's all good.
Oh, that's how it is, right? Like, that's how our conversations are all the time. But anyway, let's go to Marcel. Marcel, any recent Star Wars bounty pickups?
No, man, I'm just locked up in my studio drawing 24/7. My Star Wars bounty pickups are new brushes or new pens or new images or a contact for a signature. Those are my
That's the pickup.
Pickups. I'm just trying to make my way through the community and bring you guys whatever I can as quickly as possible.
Awesome.
How does
sorry for the boring ass answer, but
no.
I mean, we got a lot of out of Dom's bounty pickups.
I'm sorry. So when you're hunting for a signature, like that's got to be an interesting experience, right? How do you do that? How do you even?
Well, I'm still like
stalker.
What's that?
I said stalker.
Well, I'm still, to be honest with you, Dom, I'm still kind of like meeting people and being introduced to people. And there's all different kinds of people that are involved, and people get in touch with me. Hey, I can hook you up with this. I can hook you up with that. And they sort of string you along, and they're like, yeah, but my commission is $500. Right. Right. So I'm just what I'm doing, Dom, to keep it like short, is I'm working with the people that I like and that I know. So, like hanging out with PJ and Sean, right? These are real gentlemen, right? These are the kinds of people that you want to work with. These are the kinds of people that you want to hang with. Like, I asked Sean, can you hook me up with these plaques? Like, I've never met Sean. Sean's never met me. But like the way these guys communicate on their show, it just communicates. It really comes through. This is what kind of people that you are, that I feel confident that I could just DM Sean and ask him this. And he's like, yeah, man, I got you. Right. And so these are the process is finding people like this that you can work with. When and I guess this is kind of talking to you and maybe talking to somebody that might be out there thinking about selling art or getting into it. Like my brother-in-law, after the Emperors sold out in 2 minutes, he calls me right away. He's like, oh man, you need an agent, right? And I'm like, okay, do you know an agent? He's like, no, but you got to get one. And I'm like, well, there's 99% of the agents out there are looking out for their own interests first. It's just how it is, you got to find that one really cool person that you can trust and work with forever and have a friendship with, not just a business relationship. I'm not even remotely interested in that at all. So another thing that happened to me, there was a photo up, but you don't need to put it back up, was meeting Emily Swallow. She was so nice. She's the armorer from The Mandalorian. I just went to the fan expo. She was there. Like nobody was at her booth. I talked to her for like half an hour and I walked away and I went back and we talked some more. We had a great conversation and she introduced me to the guy who plays The Mandalorian, John Wayne's grandson, Blake. I can't remember his name. I beg your pardon. And so you start just randomly meeting people, and they introduce you to other people, and this is kind of like a way in.
Super organic, like
yeah, but it's organic in the way where you're only talking to the people that you're like vibing with. You know what I mean? Like you just don't want to work with people that you're not vibing with, and you can't vibe with everybody, right?
Yeah, so, you're not going to vibe with everybody.
It's just the way it is, and everybody's going to vibe with somebody different, right? So it's just you got to take you just got to be patient, right, and wait. And in the meantime, try to implement stuff. You know,
I totally understand what you mean about agents because I work with agents, and they're just it's a me I world. That's
well, I don't
all they care about.
Yeah. I don't want to make a blanket statement about agents, but yeah, it's just
it's fair. Trust me, if you went blanket, you're like 99% there. It's totally fair.
Yeah. So to my brother-in-law, I said, hey man, like I got friends in the community that I just rather just hang with than like go find an agent. Like WTF. I just here to chill, right? Anyway. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, congrats on your bounty pickup, which is not Star Wars. It's the their artwork supplies, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm sure like someone out there is going to have an awesome Star Wars bounty pickup when they pick up some of your artwork.
Oh, God bless you, PJ. You're so
all right, so let's move on to Sean. Sean, any Star Wars bounty pickups? Let's not talk about sequels because that will decide the list a little bit. But
we're selling sequels, but bounty pickup. I finally got. I haven't even opened it yet. It's back here. It's the bunker bomb that it's a kit you can buy on wanawanga.com, and it's pretty precise to the screen accurate one. And then I shipped it to Ben Huckabee, who's a fantastic painter, and shout out to Ben because he just got his dream job at Lucasfilm working on the Star Wars. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm actually honored to have a piece that he painted back here that's going to be a pretty accurate movie prop. So I probably want to
spectacular.
Yeah, it's killing me not to open it, but I know we want to do a little video unveiling of it, so we might do a little video later on. But yeah, I'm stoked on that. I'm ready to get it open though.
Oh yeah, awesome, man. And that's congratulations, man. And that's the fact that Ben is actually employed by Lucasfilms. That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
to have a piece of something that's works for Lucasfilms.
He's extremely talented. Like his website, I don't know if he's got a website, but he's on Facebook and Instagram. It's Dirty Rogue Designs. If you go on there, and he's got a lot of original stuff and some prop made stuff. He's amazing. I mean, that's why he's working for Lucas.
All right, awesome. Any other Star Wars bounty pickups?
No, it's been kind of quiet. We talked about it last week. I'm trying to sell a lot to.
Take it back. Take it back. Come on, you actually got something else.
Did I?
I'll pull it up on the screen.
Oh no! What did I get? Oh yes, we are getting this. I did get this. Yes, this is Michelle Nooney's our Sith Cast exclusive print. So for anyone in the chat or anyone watching, I know she's got some more for sale. We'll put in the description below her links how to purchase this piece, but it's limited to 27. So you guys got to get on it.
Yeah. So obviously I picked this up as well. I was telling Michelle, I have, my favorite number is 5. And 5 is like my lucky number. So I told her, I was like, I gotta have number 5. Already someone actually, once she posted this up, I think the original sold and the number 1 sold pretty quickly. So I was like, well, I can't get number 1. I don't want really. I mean, I can get number 2, but I was like, I need to get number 5. So
I've got 2.
I know you got 2. So yeah, Michelle was kind enough to do a Sithcast exclusive, which is the Vader, Anakin or Vader unmasked, and it reveals Anakin underneath, and he's got the Sith eyes, and I felt like this was like perfect timing for Kenobi. Kenobi's going to be coming out next month. There's been rumors that we're going to see Hayden Christensen playing Vader unmasked, and they're going to show him unmasked as well. So I just think that this was fitting in terms of as a Sithcast exclusive. And on top of that, I love Anakin, so he's one of my favorite I love Anakin. I love Vader. Those are my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe.
Is he going to be at Celebration? Do you know?
I believe so. He has to be. It's Kenobi's going to be premiering that weekend. I don't see why not. I just think that right now they're taking their time announcing some of the guests. I think he's considered like one of the top tier guests, so I'm pretty sure him and Ewan McGregor are probably going to show up at some point. So yeah, I got this as well. Dom, pick it up.
Yo.
But anyway, we're gonna put the like where you can pick it up. I believe it should be on her website, right, Sean?
Yeah, you can get it on her website. I believe you could DM her as well, and then she can personally autograph one for you.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely DM her so she could personally autograph your copy. This is her website, so a lot of her how to get in touch with her are there. So yeah, shout out to Michelle. Thank you again, and I'm really excited for that piece. All right, so as for me, I got Star Wars Theory liked it as well. So yeah, for the people interested, Michelle's in the chat, so definitely DM her to get a copy of the Anakin as Vader. Okay, so as for me in terms of pickups, I just recently got the Ahsoka premium format statue. Actually, first, let me just introduce you to what I just got recently, and I got this for my wife.
Oh, is this the bag? Yeah.
There's a Jar Jar Binks Loungefly bag, and I said, as you can see, people in the chat are very excited that I decided to pick this up.
Jar Jar is one of the most underrated characters.
Thank you.
Underrated. I think he was a wonderful addition to the prequels. Fight me. Let's go.
Well, Dom, it was nice knowing you, Dom.
Dom.
That's twice.
No, Dom, you're part of the family now. You're part of the Sith. Now I could hug you and kiss you when I see you, man.
You got it.
Glad that you feel the same way. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't pick this up. Maybe I did.
Maybe you did, yeah.
Maybe if you see me in Celebration wearing this thing, it's me. No, but I did get the Michelle's art print. That is one, and I did get the Ahsoka premium format, and I want to share Nemesis Prime's Ahsoka premium format statue. He shared this in the group, and look how amazing that looks. Dom, what's your thoughts? Oh, damn it. Let me take out the layout. I think the layout is kind of getting in the way. Let me take that out. There we go.
I actually have that on pre-order. That's a Sideshow one, right?
Yeah. Do you not get the email, or?
I didn't yet. I forgot all about it. That's just my nature. I forget what I have. I don't know if I made a mistake though. I do like it.
What? Take that back.
But the newest the Ahsoka based on the actress, what's her name?
Rosario Dawson. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one from Sideshow. I'm like, oh man, I kind of like that one too. Now I'm like kind of, I don't know.
Just get both.
No, I can't get both. Man.
Do it.
Like there's a thing called space, and you run out of it. All right, it's like
which we're going to actually talk about later, though. We have a great topic for everyone tonight. So, yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I totally agree with you, Dom. I know I'm busting your chops, but I say keep this. I don't know. It depends, right? Which one you gravitate towards more?
See, I like Rosario Dawson. I really do. Like as the
Mm.
I didn't care until I saw her in the show, and I was like, wow, she plays such a great Ahsoka. So it's like, damn, you know. So I don't know. I might end up with both. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Do it.
I got to light all my boxes on fire because they're just taking up space. And
actually, yeah, I'm with you on that one. You know, the thing with me with this piece is that the reason why I love this piece because I love Rebels, right? Like I think Rebels is a phenomenal show. I just think that you know, even though Rosario Dawson did an amazing job, and I think she's gonna kill it with her new show. I mean, that scene with Ahsoka fighting Vader, it speaks volumes to me.
yeah,
And the fact that we get to kind of like have that a piece of that scene with the statue, that's why I had to pick it up. And you know what? Kudos to Sideshow, man. Like they're really killing it with some of their Star Wars pieces, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're killing with the likenesses, which they never used to, you know, nail before.
They nailed the Rosario Dawson one. I think that if it comes out, if the production piece is like that, they nailed it. And now that I'm marinating on this, Marcel, you got to do Rosario Dawson. I would pre-order the hell out of that.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of images, but let's see what the new show looks like.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, the ladies on my DMs are like, you got to do some female characters. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You know what? The one thing with Ahsoka is that like I think they did a poll, and I think I mentioned this before in previous live streams. I think Luke was number 1, and number 2 was Ahsoka in terms of the like most popular Star Wars characters in Star Wars universe. Number 3 was like Vader, but the fact that Ahsoka is like right up there. I think with her, she like, you know, a lot of like younger Star Wars fans gravitate towards her. A lot of female
I'll tell
fans.
you what it is.
What is it?
It's back to my first point. Ahsoka has an emotional connection to Anakin. It's all about that relationship and that family. That's what people cling. You don't even realize that you're clinging to it, and that's why the character's so powerful. Is because when you saw her fight Vader, it's not about her just fighting Vader. That's cool, but you understand their background and what they've been through together, and they're kind of like family, and that they're at each other's throats. That's what makes her character so powerful.
And that's, you know what,
that's a good point, man.
That's a great point, and I got to give you some butter, man, because you're on a roll with these points. You know,
wow.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a dad. I got dad jokes. Okay,
I like that. I like the dad jokes. Go for it, man.
Come on. But no, but the thing is too is that like, you know, like that's why when Kenobi was fighting Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, that is so emotional. Just because they're two brothers. They fought together in the Clone Wars. They, you know, Kenobi raised Anakin. You know, trained him, and here they are fighting to the death. You know, same with you know, Ahsoka and Vader. So in terms of other Star Wars pieces, what else did I get? Oh yeah, I got from one of our sponsors, and that is Off the Racks. I can't pull up his website; it's down. But Off the Racks, you know, I picked up quite a few things from him. I got the Kotobukiya Ahsoka Rebels statue. It's a small, you know, real estate, so that's why I picked that up. What else did I get from him? The quarter scale Mandalorian Hot Toys Deluxe. So I got that from him. Oh my gosh, where am I going to put all these things? What am I doing? Someone slap me. Dom.
I could send my wife to your house to smack you. That's what she does every time. She sees a little box at the front door. It's like, what the hell is this? And now some of these larger pieces come in 2 boxes. It's like,
I know. I'm with you, man. Like I get a piece and she's like, "What did you buy?" What's this? What's this? Another one? Another? I thought you're gonna stop.
Okay, so what's your go-to excuse? Unlike what you say when the box comes, what is the go-to?
Oh, I sold. I sold a piece.
I ordered this 6 months ago. It's been paid off.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
That's mine. That's
so
mine.
my go-to is I pre-ordered this before. I forgot it. It must have been like 2 years ago that I ordered this piece.
It took a long time.
Yeah,
but you're in trouble when the UPS guy knows you by first name.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I think I offered my UPS guy. I think I gave him food one time.
You gotta
water.
give him a Christmas gift.
Yeah, I do, because you know what? He knows. He knows. He goes. He carries it. He gives it to me.
He hides it in the bush. He hides it in the bush for you.
Exactly. I think you know what it is too. We really need to come up with excuses, guys. Like in the chat, if you have any excuses that we can use to our significant others whenever we get a piece. Actually, I've been getting a lot of art prints, so if you guys could help me out with that. Oh yeah, that's a $20 art print. Yeah, I bought it from this was a dice plate or something. I got it from Etsy.
Oh yeah, I've never told her the real price of anything. You gotta hear mine.
No. That's number one. Do not tell the price, because you know what? In their minds, they start adding it up. They're like, oh, $500, $200, $600. And at the end of you bought 6 pieces, and that could have been our vacation. You're like,
yeah. I've actually got a Disney vacation coming up in October. That's gonna be with 2 kids is a small fortune. So.
Yes.
Oh, I went last year, dude. I could have went. I could have went to Hawaii twice with my wife with the amount of money I spent
I'm headed. Oh, excuse me. I was gonna say I was heading to Universal in August, so taking the family down there. So,
Universal's not so bad, but once you go to Disney, and you're paying,
they gotta chill out a little bit. I'm starting to hear some things about Disney. I mean, if they could charge you for the air at this point, they gotta. I get it. You need to make money, but you can't be too. I don't know, ambulance chaser
Yeah.
Well, I feel like at this point.
Oh, here's the thing too. This is where they got me last year, right? It was everything was lifting up in Florida with the restrictions and everything, and we planned it because we've been cooped up for so long, right? My greatest fear. What is Benjamin Moses? My greatest fear isn't death. It's that my wife will sell my things for what I told her they cost. Yeah,
that's a fact.
That's a fact. That's facts right there. So it was post-COVID, restrictions lifting up, and we bought tickets. We got we planned our vacation to go to Disney World in Florida, and I remember I was like, why in July? She's like, well, I can't wait any longer. We should go. We've been cooped up for so long. This is the first. So anyway, I went with it. Next, it's so hot. It's so hot. Hot as balls. I'm sorry. Right. First of all, who came up with that terminology? Hot as balls. Seriously, were you around? Okay. Anyway,
I could probably elaborate on it, but it's not the time.
No.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, go to July and you planned it out. You're like, I'm gonna pack food. I'm gonna pack water. You're gonna have coolers, and you're gonna be fine, right? Oh no, it's so hot that you go through those waters like that. And then obviously they have the ice cream truck with the cold water bottles, and they got the ice cream.
$17.
Oh yeah, they're $5.
5. You're lucky.
Yeah.
5, right?
Yeah, it's just what the hell? And then you're it feels so good when you're drinking it, and you got a nice ice cream, like a Mickey Mouse ears ice cream.
And Disney only gives you Dasani water, right?
Oh yeah,
because it has salt in it, so you're gonna want water in 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's what they. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. That's the type of company Disney is. It's water, but they're gonna be thirsty in 15 minutes, so we could just sell more water.
Exactly. But anyway, what were we talking about again?
I don't know.
All right, so
hiding the cost of your
hiding the cost.
Oh yeah, hiding the cost of No, I'm with you, man, and that's one of the things that I kind of hide, because then. One thing too is that what she hates is the brown shipper boxes, and then if they're piled up and you haven't opened it up, oh man, my wife will perform a fatality on me if I don't open it up and get rid of those brown boxes.
Where do you put them?
Well, I have a storage house right now, but it's been, when I first bought that storage unit, when I bought it, it was like $35 a month, so it wasn't bad. Now they upped it to like close to $100. So I'm taking everything out and putting it in my garage. I just can't. I have a two-car garage. I'm just gonna have one at this point. Who cares?
I have a room, so like down. I'm in my man cave now, but there's a room dedicated just to my boxes.
I know.
Yeah.
It's my wife really, really hates it, and I kind of don't disagree with her. But what do I do? I can't put them in the attic because I can't get up. Some of the boxes are too big; they won't fit through the attic door. I have a crawl space, but I could put some boxes down there. But crawl spaces. I mean, they're kind of gross and.
Well, they're kind of gross and they're kind of scary, dude. I watched way too many horror movies. Like I feel like I go get my hey honey, I'm gonna put my brown box away in the crawl space, and then next like I'm like dead up there from like a ghost or something that's been living up there for.
So I don't know. I think I might eventually. I just got to get the rest of the collector community to not care about the boxes. So I figured if everyone just gets rid of their boxes, nobody will care anymore. So that's right. I don't have the box. I don't have the shipper box. I don't have the color box. Do you want the statue? Okay, great. Come and pick it up. We'll wrap it in some bubble wrap. Call it a day.
Yeah. Well, Dom, I don't care about a shipper box for Darth Talon. Just letting you know.
Just go pick it up, PJ.
Yeah, just go pick it up.
Take a drive.
Yeah, come on. All right. Well, all right. So let's go to one of our topics. I know some collectors are excited for us to talk about this. And Hot Toys actually released a Luke Skywalker Bespin Deluxe version. A lot of collectors, including myself, have been looking forward to this release for a very long time. We got a tease of it like maybe 3 years ago in San Diego Comic-Con, and it was like silence right after that tease. But here we are 3 years later, and he's up for pre-order, and he is $345. Let's go to Dom. I know, Dom, you used to be a Hot Toys collector, right?
No.
You still are?
No, I'm not. I have like 2, and that's it. I've only bought 2 Hot Toys.
Okay. Well,
I never went down that rabbit hole.
Oh, good for you. Oh yeah, that's right. You went the other rabbit hole. You went Mesco's, right?
Yeah, I went. Well, I stopped after. I think the last one I got was that Doctor Strange that I sold.
The one that you told me to buy, and then I sold it.
Yeah.
But all right. So, what's your thoughts on this figure?
So I'm biased in the negative because that's my least favorite costume Luke wears. I do not like.
Really?
I do not like that costume.
Why?
I don't know. It just does nothing for me. I like when he wears the black.
Okay. I mean, he's a Jedi, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It still looks cool. I mean, at the end of Mandalorian, he's wearing all black, and he's supposed to be good, right?
Yeah.
So, I think the portrait's okay. Kind of, it's close.
There.
It's there.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows my mind the prices though.
Yeah.
Sean and I were talking about it.
I would be like, if I collected these, I would have less hurt feelings at a $250 price tag than a $350 price tag for that size. But
yeah, it's almost like we're getting into what do you call this? Statue pricing territory with some of these figures, and they're like 6 scale figures, and you don't even really get that much accessories with these figures anymore. Compared to I'm going to share how much they used to cost back then. So this was the old version. This was the DX Bespin outfit series, DX07, let's put it that way. And so with the DX07, you got 2 figures for $300.
Oh, wow.
And a diorama
set.
That's crazy. What year was this?
Shoot, I don't know. Was it?
Take a guess.
Was it 2013?
14, 15? Yeah, it was around like 2014, 15.
Yeah.
If someone could in the chat could correct this, but
there's a lot of value there. That's a lot of value. I can
I
wrap my head around that.
Yeah, but even then, when this came out, people that were collecting back then, they were like, "Oh, it's way too expensive." No, they were like, "No, this is actually justifiable. You get 2 figures. If you split it up, $300, it's $150 a figure, right? And on top of that, you get a really cool diorama set that you could actually hang on the wall, right, to reenact that scene from Empire Strikes Back." So, Marcel, what's your thoughts on like this figure and then the one?
So the first figure that you had up, the latest one, the 345 one.
Yeah.
I was on Community Wars a while ago, and I was talking about the work that I do, and one of the things that Joseph Azar, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Joseph, super nice guy. He was talking to me about how do you. It was a similar question to what Dom had to say about applying technique and capturing the image and that kind of thing. And one of the things he was saying about head sculpts is that, and it was the first thing I noticed on this head sculpt, is that if you look at it in a particular direction or one angle, it looks like the person. But if you shift it, it begins to look not like the person. And so this head sculpt, that was the first thing that I sort of struck me. I like the Bespin look. I think it's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But the first thing I noticed was the sculpt seemed just a bit wonky to me. So that's all I really have to say about it. I think that, of course, when you compare it to the previous iteration of this with the 2 characters, I mean, Dom said it. That's an immense value.
Yeah, I agree.
So if somebody has the previous iteration on this, I don't know that they're picking this one up.
I am.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we got crazy collectors in this panel right now, including Sean and I.
I mean,
Sean,
to be fair, Mark Hamill's face is hard.
Yes.
I would think.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, I don't want to insult the guy. He doesn't have an odd face, but he's got almost like he's got some interesting like shapes, like his chin. And whenever they try to do it, either they overdo it. Usually they overdo it, and it just looks kind of funny,
Yeah, because you got to, even right before Empire started filming, he got in that motorcycle accident, and it disfigured his face a little bit.
Yeah,
so it was a little off in Empire, but he's a tough one to get.
I was gonna say, from like, if you watch A New Hope, right? Like you see his face there, and then from there to Empire Strikes Back, right? Like there's like a big, huge change. And like, it's not like it went like 20 years past or 10 years past, but it's only like 3-4 years in between like these movies. And his face changed a lot. And like you said, Sean, like he got into that motorcycle accident, and maybe that like kind of like changed his face a bit. But Sean, let's get to you, man. What's your thoughts on this figure?
I love it. I actually have the DX07, the 2-pack, which I bought. I would say I bought that 5 years ago, and I paid double for what the retail was, and that was 5 years ago. But this thing's fantastic for anyone that doesn't have the DX07. And honestly, I think I was just looking at it, the older one. I think the sculpt is better. And then like PJ and I were talking earlier about it, like the hair, the messed up hair is going to have to grow on me. But I think the price is a little high. I mean, for that much money, you should have like a USB powered lightsaber or something. Let's, give us a little more for, bang for our buck.
Or at least like 2 portraits.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just to kind of like an in-betweener, like, with, because I mean, how many years ago you got 2 figures, right? 2 figures, right. 2 portraits, a diorama base, but then like how many years later we get just for $345, $45 more now, plus tax, plus shipping, you're just getting 1 figure with interchangeable hair sculpts.
Yep, the hair, and then pierce eyes. You can move the eyes.
Whoop-de-doo. It's just like,
how often do you do that? Like, I've got a few figures.
I suck at it, by the way. I suck with, because you know what it is too. Like no, I can't line them up. Like it'll be like cross-eyed, like one eye's looking that way, and I'm a perfectionist, right? I'm like, do these look like they're
a little too much spotchka?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, this is definitely a do it for you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, Empire Strikes Back. Come on, you got me. And that's honestly, they know that too. When they put this price tag on there, they know how. For one, I'm surprised this came out instead of the Snowspeeder Luke, which they advertised, and then they teased us with the Bespin Han. I'm scared to see the price on the Bespin Han because there's a lot of people that have a DX07 Luke, but it's not that many people have Bespin Han.
Yeah.
But with ESB in its original trilogy, yeah, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, so it's one of those things too. Like I missed out on the double pack like how many years ago, right? And every single time I look for that double pack, it's always like $600-700 on the aftermarket. And I'm just like, I just couldn't like get myself to, pulling the trigger on that. But this comes along and I'm like, all right, I'm on. I'm gonna buy it. But then I'm like, wait a minute. It's $345. Like you double that. Like you could have gotten like the double pack. But anyway, long story short, I think Hot Toys knows what they're doing. I think they know that they got the collectors by the cojones, and they know that collectors like myself and Sean will pay this price for for a Luke Skywalker Bespin version, especially since I need this in my collection to. I don't even know I need any collectibles to be honest, but for me, I need it to complete my set, right? And we're going to talk about like collecting in general a little bit later in the show, but yeah, I love the portrait. I think I wouldn't say they 100% nailed it, but I think it's 90% there. The value is definitely not there. $345, you get like a couple accessories, a cool looking base, 2 hair sculpts, movable eyes, and yeah, I mean you get for the deluxe version, you do get that Luke Skywalker in the Darth Vader helmet.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
I think you got that with the deluxe DX07 as well.
Yeah, you got that with the deluxe DX07 as well. This will pair up well with your Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader figure, and also it'll pair up well with your Empire Strikes Back Yoda. So the one thing I'm looking forward now is the Yoda Hut by Sideshow. So I kind of need that in my collection because I kind of want to put Luke Skywalker in that hut with Yoda, to kind of reenact that scene. So that would be pretty cool. But yeah, so for me, this is yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, guys, if you guys are willing to pick this up, pay the $345. Also, unfortunately, his website is down, but please check out John's website, Off the Rack Collectibles. I'm pretty sure he'll have it for way cheaper than what Sideshow has it up for on their website. So yeah, Off the Rack Collectibles. I think his website should be up this weekend. Joel, come on, Joel, make that hut. Yeah. I'll buy that hut from you for real. Seriously. And Scott Barry's he's in the house. He's late. How dare you, Scott? How shame on you. But yeah, no, this is definitely do it for me. And $285 too for man. Hot Toys inflation, man.
Yeah. Add $40 to that too for shipping and taxes.
Holy jeez, man. $285 for it's crazy out there, guys. It's crazy. All right, let's move on to some Star Wars news. So really not much happening in the Star Wars realm. Obviously, Celebration is happening and it's coming up pretty soon. So they did announce this. I guess on the first day of Christmas, the first day of Celebration, they are going to have a really cool panel, and they're going to have, I guess, like all the live action filmmakers on stage to talk about all the Star Wars, projects that's coming up, including the Kenobi and Andor and Mandalorian. And I believe the Mandalorian just finished filming just recently. They just wrapped up filming. So yeah, let's go to Marcel. Marcel, do you think they're going to announce some like live action movie, projects in this panel? Because seriously, they haven't really announced any movies.
Yeah,
Sequels.
there's I don't know if you know this guy on YouTube, Drunk C3PO.
Oh yes, I've heard of him.
I don't know. Anyway. Long story short is he's kind of complained about how they've been trickling out everything. Like in his estimation, it was regarded. So I've never been to Celebration. My expectations are not, can't be compared to somebody that knows a whole lot about Celebration. But he is apparently complaining about how things are just kind of trickling out. Of course, I've heard endless speculation on some animated series coming, that they could be showing there. Personally, I guess I'm not a good person to ask. Unfortunately, I don't really know what to expect. I have no. You were saying at the beginning of the show that you think that they're going to show one of the the Kenobi episodes there. Do you think they're going to show it live?
I have a feeling that they might. So I think they might have like a special viewing for people on the show floor. They'll probably have like a special dedicated room for the people that want to watch it in the big screen. So that's what I'm assuming.
Somebody mentioned the project that was canceled by the woman that directed Wonder Woman.
Oh yes, what's her name?
I can't remember. Somebody mentioned that might get talked about.
It's the Star Wars Rebellion, or is it the?
I forget the name.
X-wing
Squadron something.
Squadrons, Rogue Squadrons.
I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I've just heard speculation on the internets. Nothing definitive, so it's just up in the air.
Okay. Let's go to Dom. Dom, I guess you're not going to Celebration, right?
No.
PJ, focus.
Nope. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to show any hints of a movie or any live action movie. I think right now I think Disney's trying to map out what they're going to do based on the successes in the streaming world.
Good point.
So I really think that they might have 2 or 3 paths, based on I'm assuming there's some internal, this is going to work. No, I think this is going to work. And there's a little bit of a maybe internal competition. And based on those successes, like if Ahsoka does well, Mandalorian does well, and Obi-Wan does well, and they all knock it out of the park, you're going to have a way better chance of another movie. Because I really think that the sequels were kind of a misstep. So they're kind of, they're not stupid. They like I said, they spent $5 billion on this IP, so they got to figure out what the formula is. And that's kind of where it's happening. Disney Plus is going to be basically the ground zero of what the movies are going to be, and I don't think they're there yet. I don't think you're going to see anything that's like
to add to what you said, Dom. I heard that Disney is banking on Kenobi being huge because Disney Plus is hoping to introduce an advertisement, like a tier, where it's the subscription cost is less or maybe nothing, but they need to attract advertisers and they need a feature show, and so they're counting on Kenobi to be that show which will draw advertisers to say, see, we have these sort of tentpole programs which will attract advertisers to that new tier of Disney Plus. Again, it's just something that I've heard.
So I did hear something like that. So you're talking about like ads before the show or
during, probably like a Hulu kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know how the advertisement would be implemented into the programming, but this is just what I've heard. I watched probably the same stuff you guys do, where they're saying that, they want to have an advertising tier of Disney Plus, and they're banking on Kenobi to be that advertising magnet to demonstrate that Disney Plus can have a hit show.
Yeah. And I think you're hitting on something, and we can all agree that the Obi-Wan show has to be amazing. Then that's it. It has no other option. It can't be mediocre. it has to increase subscribers.
Yeah, it does.
So
yeah, and that's one thing too. I think that's why I think I mentioned before in another stream that I think with Boba Fett in general, I think they probably were planning more of like a 3 or 4 episode kind of series. But one thing with streaming service, that's you kind of need to keep the subscribers subscribed for at least more than 2 months. I mean, more than a month, right? Because if it's 4 episodes or 3 episodes, people are gonna just subscribe for the month and cancel it next month.
Yeah, and
and that's why, like, really quick, it's just like with the Book of Boba, they put 2 Mandalorian episodes there. It's like, why?
Yeah. Well, two things. I think the Book of Boba had some severe issues, writing issues, almost like it was 2 different shows. I wholeheartedly believe that those 2 Mando episodes were pulled from Mando season 3. I don't believe it was the same show. It can't be. The writing was black and white. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dom. I thought, you're not the only person to say that.
It was just on 2 different levels. If you watch it again, just watch those 2 episodes and then watch only the Boba episodes. You're like, whoa! It's almost like amateur hour with the Boba episodes, and all
not
of a sudden,
almost.
yeah. It's so I don't want to be too brutal, but yeah, yeah. So that I don't remember what my second point was. I'm sure it'll come back to me, but yeah.
You're getting old, Dom.
Yeah.
Getting old. I'm just kidding. I'm the same way too.
To your point, Dom, I also believe I've heard that Disney Plus of all the streaming services has the highest level of what they call churn, which is subscribers buying in and then quitting the streaming service.
You Marcel, you brought back to me. So I don't understand why all these streaming services have to have one new thing at a time. Like, I know I'm being like a greedy consumer right now, and I want all this stuff. But if you want me to stay subscribed to Disney Plus, can't you have like a couple of new shows coming out at the same time? It can't be one. Like right now, it's Moon Knight, right? I haven't even watched it yet. I think they're on episode 3.
Yeah,
but it's always like piecemeal, one thing at a time. I mean, if you're Disney and you could spend $5 billion on an IP, can't you have like 2 or 3 shows coming out?
Actually, you make actually a really good point. Dom, because look at HBO Max, right? So HBO Max is actually killing it with their shows. They got Raised by Wolves. They got all these documentaries. They got all these movies. I think their business model is so much better than Disney Plus. Disney Plus, like you said, they already have like all these like movies and shows that we already watched over and over again as kids, and they're like giving you like little like they're wetting your palate with a little of these like shows.
People get sick of it, It's like, okay, I got to wait another couple of months for something new. Like there's a lot of droughts from new stuff, right? Where like HBO Max, I mean, I don't have it at the moment, but I'm probably gonna get it back. Something else has to get killed off. I don't like to have too many subscription services, because then I'm paying more than what I paid when
you had the cable.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense though. But they're at least throwing their punches, like you said. They got all this new stuff coming out, and it's not like Disney's not capable of it. I mean, it's Disney, crying out loud.
Yeah, Dom, to your point, there's 2 other things. One is, again, just from watching random entertainment shows. I mean, that's what I'm doing when I'm working on this stuff, is I'm keeping up with you guys, whatever content you guys are putting out, and then I just go down the, lower tier entertainment news. They're saying that Disney is really, really rushing to try to get new content. Like Netflix and stuff like that is just hammering them in terms of what they can provide regularly. And another interesting, and I don't know how accurate it is, another interesting detail is that Disney did a survey and they found like almost half of the households that they polled don't have kids that are subscribing. So Disney is looking into sort of not R-rated, but an adult tier, which, they definitely have to do. I think, can you imagine if they, I mean, this is just pure, dreamland, but if they did like a real crime lord Boba Fett, gritty, if they
There's
really
nothing wrong with that.
like
it's
because there's our demographic is like, yeah, bring that on. Like I'll watch that all day.
I mean,
under the Lucasfilm, back in the day when he did that Underworld show, which never got off the ground, that looks like it's been sort of implemented a bit in the new Kenobi series. People want to see. Our age demographic is sort of above what they're able to give us with their current
I think another thing you're touching on too is the fact that half of the subscribers are adults with no kids. We're also very fickle, right? So if they don't put out some real good content, those people are going to cancel. How many times can you watch Moana? I mean, I've watched Moana like 600 times on Disney Plus with my kids, right? So it's not a dirty thing. Like Disney doesn't have to be all wholesome all the time. They could have a mature brand, create a new label or something.
Yeah. And they did. And I was going to say, and they did pick up Netflix's Daredevil and Punisher, and those are two pretty brutal shows. So that shows they're step in the right direction.
Do like a Disney plus.
Well, it was like the Mandalorian series or the episodes. I was like, I didn't know you could cut somebody in half in the Boba Fett show.
Yeah,
I'm so glad when he did.
That was cool.
And it's not like people were like, this is not for kids. No, we were like, yeah, cool, finally something.
Yes.
And I just think that like, when you got other IPs like taking a risk, right? And like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? Like my parents let me watch
80s,
like
baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You watch like rated R movies, Terminator, like Commando, Predator, like all people being blown up into pieces.
And look how messed up you are now, Pete.
Yeah, exactly. I'm collecting these things in the back.
You remind me around Halloween. My dad would be watching like Freddy Krueger or Jason, and I'm like 7. And he's like, this isn't real, right? Okay, good. We'll continue watching it. Like that was his pep talk. It's not real. Just get over it. Like,
no. Well, my parents used to tell me, it's like, you better not have nightmares.
Yeah.
Like you better like not sleep in mommy and daddy's room, right? Okay, you can watch Nightmare on Elm Street, and I couldn't sleep for a month. After.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. It's like I think Disney. I don't know what they're doing, but they kind of like have to like be like a Netflix. Like, okay, have like child profiles, right? If you really don't want your kids to watch like some of these shows, like create a kid profile. That's what I do with my Netflix accounts, right? I have my profile, which has like all the shows that I want to watch. The kids have their own like kids profile, and it's limited to depending on the rating. So I think Disney Plus should do the same, so that like
they have to. It's not even an option. They have 50% are adults with no kids. You got to put out some real content or cancel. That's what's gonna happen. So
and you know what? It's all adding up, especially to me, in my opinion, right now. The one streaming service that I always gravitate towards is HBO Max. HBO Max. Like, just look at the amount of shows that you get with HBO Max. And on top of that, the movies that you get, and like it's just, to me, I think it's worth it. Oh, here we go.
I also heard completely unrelated, but and I'm happy that Disney is actually rehiring 2D animators. Like, because they gave up on 2D animation a few years ago, but I really feel like they're missing the boat on that. Like 2D animation is awesome. Not everything has to be CGI. So I think there's some possibilities there with some cool 2D, maybe Marvel, maybe Star Wars, who knows?
More Ren and Stimpy.
Yes, Ren and Stimpy, yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to Sean. What's your thoughts on
the live action?
Yeah.
I agree with Dom. Like, I think Disney streaming shows, they're all gonna, not all of them, but at least Ahsoka, Mando, all that's gonna intertwine. But they're gonna have to build a foundation first, and then I think from there they could go ahead and hopefully write something good. And I think they're just going to kind of reboot. They're going to try to hopefully everyone's going to forget about the sequels.
You're getting close to the retcon. Instead of reboot, retcon. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I want a full retcon of the sequels. That's what I want. That's my dream. Better just do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, for the people, I might share a spoiler picture. So for the people that do not want to see this, this is from the Ahsoka show. So again, if you guys don't want to see it, just tune out. But if not,
From the show, like legit from the show, like where'd you
yeah,
get this?
this is a. I got my
Some-
connection. No, I just got it
Wow,
from
this is
Facebook.
cool. I'm excited.
No, it's from Facebook. It's from
Oh.
Facebook. I got everything right.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. All right. So here it is. So this is supposedly from the Ahsoka show. Some people
Oh,
are like,
snap.
"Oh, it's a fan. It's a fan." I'm like, "No, it ain't no fan film.
Mm-mm.
No, it doesn't look like any fan. That looks like
That's the real deal.
That
Yeah.
looks like a full on filming like set. You know,
Mhm.
like a film set right there." So,
Yeah.
and I'm really. This is the rumors going around now. The Ahsoka show. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the World Between Worlds from Rebels. So it's like this way of like, I guess, like going to different timelines in the universe.
you're getting me excited. Go ahead.
And you know, Dom, did you watch the Rebel show or Rebels?
I couldn't do it. I
right.
I have to try again.
Yeah, definitely try again. I think just get past episode 6. I know
Yeah.
it sucks saying that about a show, but you know it takes a while to build to have. That
It really
show.
does. I mean, talk about slow burn. Like this show is like nothing happens for episodes. It's just like
Yeah, I think just get through season 1, and then after everything picks up right after. But there is this thing called World Between Worlds where there's all these different timelines all over universe, and there was a scene where one of the main characters, Ezra, pulls Ahsoka out of like her fight against Vader, and that kind of like threw off the timeline a little bit, sort of. But it's almost like they could do something like that with this Ahsoka show. Like I've said before, this Ahsoka show is so important for Star Wars because they could kind of like, I don't know if they're gonna do a retcon or they could do something to make the sequels more, you know, I don't know, a little bit more tolerable, I guess you could say. But
so
yeah.
So here's why I think something like that they're thinking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's in stone. I just like if I know Favreau and especially Filoni, they're very Lucas-esque, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you just pay attention to how they're having Ahsoka act, she's definitely has she's chasing something, but they're not telling you what she's chasing. She's on some sort of mission, and she's not letting anyone know about it. I don't know if you're really picking up on that, or it could be just me filling in the blanks and like hopefully, but just the way she's acting, even when recently in the Mandalorian when she's with Luke, you could like she's doing her own thing. What is she doing?
Yeah,
like what's her plot? You know,
what's her plot? And look at this. That mall is from the Crimson Dawn Mall. You know, and look at Ahsoka's outfit. You know, like if you're trying to piece stuff together, like the outfit she's wearing right now looks like the outfit she's wearing in the Mandalorian show. Unless I'm wrong.
I'm not sure. That I'm not sure.
It looks very similar, you know, and I mean, yeah, it's like what are they up to? And I just think that like I think Disney knows. They have to know. They really have to know. And I hope that Galactic Star Cruiser that they invested a lot of money on is like probably hemorrhaging, like it's probably making them lose a lot of money.
I've heard some horror stories about it already. I was curious.
Oh yeah, like all the YouTubers that got free passes to check out that Galactic Star Cruiser, a lot of them couldn't even, like, you could tell in their face there, even though they were like kind of like sort of paid to like say paid meaning through like getting the free passes and everything. I think they're really, you could see in their face that they weren't really happy with their experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a full disclosure, I'm a DVC member. My wife is a Disney head, so she convinced me to get the Disney Vacation Club years ago, before we had kids, and I got like invitations to this thing before, you know, to preview it. Not for free. I still had to pay for it, but they were giving me like a pre-purchase thing or whatever. And I was looking through the brochure and I was just like, you know what? This is really expensive. let me just get the reviews first. And in my gut, thank God I went with my gut instead of going for it, because the reviews, even like you said, when they're sugarcoating it, they're laying it on pretty thick. It's like they're covering it really well. But I'm sure it's hemorrhaging. It's got to be at this point.
they need the Ahsoka show to kind of like get them back on track with Star Wars, because I think right now, like, I guess, like, with us Star Wars fans, like, there is this distaste for the sequels, and look at all the things that they have right now. If you go to Galaxy's Edge, yeah, it's a cool experience for the first time, but it's all sequels. There's no Mandalorian, there's no Baby Grogu in sight. Baby Grogu is the one that single-handedly brought Star Wars back. So to go to any of these parks and not have any of that, like, how long, how much longer can it continue, with Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah, because the main attraction at Galaxy's Edge is the Falcon.
That's it.
Like, when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, there's a Falcon. Everything else was like, eh.
Yeah, like, if I go back a second time, I'm just probably gonna go check out the Falcon and maybe have something from Oga's Cantina, like a drink.
I went it was like 2 years ago. I did the Cantina too.
Me too.
Which was like completely and utterly pointless, and nothing happened in the Cantina.
No, you just want to try the blue milk and some of the cool, like, drinks, right?
I had
alcoholic beverage.
But I honestly was under the impression that, like, there was going to be like some sort of actors like doing like a bar brawl or something, anything like that. Nothing happened. You're there for half an hour. You just have a drink and some like chips.
Yep.
Which they give you a menu, and like all the food is like, literally, would you like chips or like or like peanuts? It's the weirdest thing. And then you leave, and all that, like, to do, like, you have when I have to like reserve something and you make it seem like it's really special, and then I go there and I have some dry potato chips with one drink and nothing happens. It's a little strange. It's just, I don't know. They missed the boat.
Yeah, they missed the boat, and that's why I don't know. Something has to happen, because if you look at the like the merchandise from the sequels, no one really bought it. But look at the merchandise from Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Man, everyone's buying up like water bottles, underwear. Today, like, my coworker, she went out on a walk, and she showed me. She took a picture. She's like, "Oh, I have a Baby Yoda like water bottle." And I'm like, "Do you watch Star Wars?" She said, "No, I thought Baby Yoda's cute." So, you know what I'm saying? It's just that's what they need, and right now they don't have that with the sequels, in my opinion. But anyway, this is going to be pretty cool, and I really hope this show rights the wrongs, and we can finally move on from the distaste of the sequels.
The Ahsoka show, who's writing it? Is it going to be like mainly
Favreau and Filoni? Filoni is probably going to be the one. I think they're probably focusing so much energy towards that show. They really are, in my opinion. They have Thrawn, supposedly Ezra from Rebels. Like, all the Rebel characters are coming back. Hayden Christensen is supposed to reprise his role as Anakin. So there might be a lot riding on that show in terms of the future of Star Wars.
Yeah. So because of all of the elements of the show that you're talking about and what's come before with the character, the kind of retconning or pivot away from the sequels isn't something that can happen in a show like Kenobi, but it is something that can happen in a show like Ahsoka, is what you're saying. And so you're kind of all in on Ahsoka for that happening.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I think, all the Mandoverse is probably leaning towards that, right? And then, we'll see I'm just curious to see what they have in plan. I think Filoni, like, like what Dom said, is a big Lucas-esque, like, fan.
So, like, my point was, they wouldn't have put Ahsoka in any of it if she didn't have some sort of major plot point. Otherwise they would have just saved her for her own show. But the fact that she's traveling around all these shows tells me she's the main character. She's
the connective tissue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she is. And I just feel like, this show, the Ahsoka show, is a mini series. It's a one-off that they're only doing this and they're calling it quits with Ahsoka. And I think this is probably her last hurrah. Because to be honest, like how many shows did we get Ahsoka in? We got Rebels, we got Clone Wars, we got now Mando. Now she has her own show. I just really think this is probably going to be like her farewell, like goodbye, and she's gonna do her part, fix Star Wars, and move on to the Force Ghost Land or something.
Then we should get like a show just on Jar Jar. Like it should be like days in the Senate. Yeah, just his
just a whole like 22 episode season of him in the Senate.
Yeah, just making weird decisions about stuff that's completely irrelevant in the Senate. That would be an awesome show. They should totally.
Misha back.
Yeah.
Misha.
Taxes. Misha don't like taxes.
Misha grant all the superpowers to the. Okay. Anyway. All right. So one more Star Wars news, and then we'll talk about our main topic for tonight. So, Kenobi writer teases the series' bleak tone in the beginning and transitions into hopefulness. He says that it takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, in a time of darkness in the galaxy. The Empire is in the ascendancy, and all the horrors that come with the Empire are being made manifest throughout the galaxy, and the Jedi Order, as we know them, are being all but wiped out. So everything that was in the prequels have crumbled. Those surviving Jedi, those who do survive, are on the run, and they're in hiding, and Vader and his Inquisitors are chasing them to the galaxy. I mean, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it just sounds like in the beginning of the show, we're going to get a lot of people dying. And then it's going to transition to something like hopefulness. Maybe like at the end, there's like hope for the rebellion or Luke or Kenobi. I don't know. What do you think, Marcel?
I have no idea what to think about this. So far what we've seen with the shows, with the exception of shows and films, with the exception of Rogue One, is new characters at the expense of old characters. That's the pattern that I've seen in every single show. And so I have no reason to expect anything different from this show until I do, right? So I know that like my optimism bag is empty. I still hold, but I think like what Sean was saying and Dom was saying is that this is kind of a make or break it show for me. And I don't know what to expect, and I'm just leaving it right there. I know it's kind of a crappy answer, but Boba Fett steamroller rolled over me in the worst possible way. And what came before with the sequels, and not the sequels, and not just the sequels, but the way Disney responded to how people's criticism. I felt that Star Wars was not in the right hands. And I really want it to be in the right hands, and I would really like them to respond in a way that we can all appreciate. I really hope Disney honors the show and honors the characters in the exact opposite of the way that they've been sort of dishonoring the characters.
I'm so with you, dude.
Yeah. So, somebody mentioned like, and I don't want to. Anyway, somebody mentioned that if you sat down and watched, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the way the characters were treated in 7, 8, 9, like the OT characters, you would get a kind of PSTD or PTSD of the way the Luke is handled and Han is handled. All of a sudden, they just kind of they go from heroes to being like absolute not heroes. And Finn, not Finn, in Boba Fett, who's the female
Fennec Shand.
Yeah, Fennec Shand.
Yeah.
She is so elevated. By the end of the show, you're just like, she's kicking ass, wiping out the mayor. All of that stuff is what Boba should have been doing. So again, like that's just the last example of elevating a new character at the expense of an old one. So with Kenobi, I'm optimistic, like a little bit. Like I hope, not optimistic. I have hope that the show will be good, but I don't even think it's going to be about Kenobi that much. I actually think it's going to be about. I don't know the name of the woman who was on the side of the Sith. She's sort of the hunter.
Yeah.
The main female character that we saw in the trailers.
Riva
or something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be mostly about her.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be about Obi-Wan engaging her and turning her on towards the light. I think that's going to be the hopefulness at the end. And I think that because we don't see her in the future, something deeply unfortunate is going to happen to her because she's not going to be around. So I sort of have what I think are the plot elements for the show, but I just hope it's executed in a way that respects the characters and respects the fandom.
Yep,
I agree, and that's a great point. That's the one thing that a lot of the Disney has done. Like they really have put a distaste for some of these OT characters, some of these like the Han, Leia, with Leia, she had that Mary Poppins scene, which people were
that was brutal.
There's a lot of parts in the sequels that don't make any sense.
Boba Fett. Well, another point was Boba Fett. A lot of people, felt like his character was mishandled in this latest show. So,
well, Boba Fett was basically. I know, Dom, you made the point that he didn't really have a lot of time in the OT, but it was a bait and switch from the end of Mandalorian to the beginning of Boba Fett. That's what it was. People would not have cared because, like you said, they didn't really have time. But it was that bait and switch where he comes out like a fire-breathing dragon, taking out stormtroopers, left, right, and center. To like almost every single assertion he made was countered by another character within 2 seconds, and he went with their determination. It was just like what, like he had no. He was. It's like he was
no presence.
Yeah, he had. Thanks. Yeah, didn't have a lot of presence. Anyway, sorry about that.
No,
it's true.
This is like therapeutic.
this is Star Wars therapy.
Yeah. This is forget Sith Cats. This is Star Wars therapy. Sean, what's your thoughts on this?
Marcel nailed it. I mean, you got to respect the fandom and you got to respect the characters. I mean, if you stick with that, it's a home run.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's like you said, I mean, this is going to make or break it. I mean, we talked about it last show. Like they're really going to have to knock it out of the park with Kenobi. And, what is it? 6 episodes. So I feel like we're going to, I am glad we're getting 2 on the same night. I don't care. Like, just give me all of them. But they're going to bombard you. Like, hopefully with all goodness.
Well, here's the thing too. I heard after the first episode, there is a after credit scene.
Okay.
Which is almost kind of like it's going to make you want to watch the second episode. So I'm glad they're kind of releasing both at the same time. But I'm pretty sure they did it to kind of coincide with Miss Marvel, which is supposed to be after this show. Dom, what's your thoughts, man, on this?
I'm going to piggyback a little bit on Marcel. We're on the same wavelength here. I think the problem and the reason why they kind of bring down the OT characters is because it goes back to bad writing. If you want to immediately show how awesome your new character is, just have them stomp an old character, and that automatically shows that how amazing and great they are because they just slap around one of your favorite characters, and it's a crutch. It's just a bad writing crutch. Instead of abusing an OT character to show how great your character is, why don't you just like write a cool story about why Rey is awesome, right? That's really what it is. It's just it's kind of like a cheat, like, hey, Luke we know is the greatest Jedi of all time. Now he's and then you get to the sequels, and now he went from a guy, and this blows my mind. He went from a guy that actually saw goodness in Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi to a guy that is considering murdering his nephew in the middle of the night because he sees a little bit of darkness. Think about that. That's a complete reversal, all for the reason to show how amazing Rey is and how superior Rey is. It's just bad writing. That's all. So the hope, I mean, my wish list for this show, and it's probably not going to happen, is I want to see Vader hunt down some Jedi. I don't know, like an episode or two. Like that would be pretty cool. You know, how does he do that? Because he's obviously looking for Kenobi, but maybe he finds like another Jedi that's on the run and he just bosses him around for 2 episodes. That would be freaking amazing. But I'm kind of unfortunately pessimistic on this. I think Marcel's right. I think we're gonna get a little bit of a bait and switch. They're gonna be in the show, but they're not gonna be the main focus, which is unfortunately gonna be a bummer. That's what I think is gonna happen. I hope I'm wrong.
And I hope you're wrong, but that seems to be their theme, right? Like, except for maybe not for the Mandalorian.
It is Filoni, so I'm hoping this is not gonna happen, and they don't just bash. I mean, if they bash Obi-Wan, I mean, it's just over. I'm done.
Well, I'm done too. If they bash like Anakin or Vader, I'm done. I'm gonna like you're gonna see me go up to Lucasfilms and just like start
to give you guys a little bit of hope. You know, remember those Mandalorian episodes that were dropped into the Boba Fett? I mean, they were astonishingly good. They were so good. So you know, we get to enjoy that sense of anticipation without knowing anything about what's about to come, which is kind of a unique feeling and something to savor. On the flip side, I was recently, you know, read a piece about Amazon's acquisition of Lord of the Rings.
Oh boy, you're triggering me.
So well, this is kind of it could be sort of the time that we're living in, which is Amazon's acquisition of Lord of the Rings is just sort of like a feather in its cap. It's a beloved story that's been around for ages, that fans have enjoyed forever, and Amazon isn't worried about investing in continuing that story. It's invested in having that feather in its cap. And it's similar with Star Wars and Disney. I think Marvel less so, but I think it's very similar with Marvel or with Star Wars in that. And I've heard similar criticisms of Halo, although I am not familiar with Halo.
I haven't. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Halo.
Or like with Picard, where they're just not interested in doing the research and getting the sort of lore down so that they can provide that kind of show. What's more relevant to these companies, this is just not my opinion, it's just the opinion of somebody else, is having that feather in their cap, as it were. And the thing that kind of bothers me, sorry, I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but the thing that bothers me about people criticizing, you know, pleasing the fans, is that fans have made Lord of the Rings, what it is for so long. Star Wars fans carried Star Wars for a quarter of a century. So that's a long time. So to turn around and say, you know, screw the fans, their opinion doesn't matter, they are just wanting to get whatever it is that they want. It's like, no, you bought something that we made, because in the sense that we have carried it and brought it to you after over 2 decades of fandom, right? You know what I mean? So it's so much more than a feather in any company's cap. It's a beloved story, both in the case of Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, with a vast universe that has so much potential. And that potential is like what brings us that are here and in the chat together. Is the creativity, the energy, the positivity, and the love that we have and feel. Like, as soon as I hear like some part of the soundtrack, I'm like not sitting in my house. I'm in Star Wars, and I'm getting tingles up and down my body and all of this stuff. And I'm taken to another place, a place that I love. And so it's not a crime to want to be brought there again after all these years. And no one should complain that that's where we want to go, because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Amen. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's one thing too, is that like I don't get some of these like these head honchos that are in charge of like creating these shows or producing these shows or writing these shows. It's like it's simple. There's the formula's already there. You just kind of have to like fill in the get someone that loves Star Wars. Don't get someone that maybe they have a good resume and they could write, but get someone that knows Star Wars. Get and just be able to like help create these stories that we would love to see on the big screen, right? Like with Marvel, you have Kevin Feige who loves Marvel, so he wants to make sure that all these characters that are brought on the big screen or on TV are done right. So I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for all your thoughts. One more topic, our main topic, our last topic for tonight, so we can wrap things up, is do it or not, surviving in Star Wars collecting. And it's just one of those things that I've been seeing a lot recently with a lot of collectors and a lot of collectibles companies as well, is that now that we are getting all these streaming services, right? Like with Marvel, with DC now getting back in the mix, with Peacemaker, with the Batman, with HBO Max, Amazon is having their part too as well, with Lord of the Rings, Halo, Paramount. Now also with Disney Plus, you got all these like Star Wars shows that are ready to like be released. And now a lot of companies are popping up left and right because they know there is money to be made with some of these collectibles. Do you think that the market is getting overly saturated? And how do we survive in this market where all these companies are hemorrhaging, Star Wars, figures and helmets and T-shirts and whatnot? So, Marcel, what's your thoughts on this, like this topic, and how do we survive in, like this collectible world?
Yeah, so I have two answers for that. One is the first thing is collectors. So right now I don't collect Star Wars pieces the same way you do. The last thing that I used to collect was a genre of hardcover books, and I used to travel the world, and the first place I would go is to bookstores, and I'd be in France, or I'd go to Israel, or anywhere in the US or Canada or wherever, and I was a book hunter, and it was like first edition hardcovers. These things were a lot of money. So what you can easily, but books are always continuously being published.
Yeah.
And so you can overextend yourself easily. And I've had people DM me saying, I really want to get these signature series, but I just blew my wad on a bunch of statues. What do I do? And I'm like, well, you got to be careful with what it is that you're doing. So the first thing is, you have to live within your means. I mean, that sounds like an oversimplification, but I mean, it will reduce your stress and anxiety by a lot. And it will help you sleep at night. So better to enjoy the things that you have while you're awake.
Great point.
The second thing I think is curation. So if you're going to have a collection, you need to be very selective, I think, about what it is that makes you the most happy to wake up in the morning and to go into your space, into your presentation space. What is it that you want to see there? Now, of course, everybody wants to see as much as they possibly can, but that's unreasonable for the first point, which is overstretching, your wallet. So how you curate. So of course, for example, Collection Wars, I'm I'm familiar with those guys. Gabe has a very specific thing, a number of, he's got a bit of flexibility in terms of how he curates his collection. Mike is all vintage and studio scale stuff. Lee, who doesn't appear on screen very much, but I consider him to be sort of in there with Collection Wars. His stuff is more broad, and his presentation is different. So everybody's got, this is just 3 different guys. I mean, here's 3 different guys right here. So yeah, curation, get what you want, stick to it, maybe give yourself a bit of flex, but other than that, you might fall into dangerous territory by overextending yourself.
Great points and great advice as well, Marcel. And the one key word that I want to take out of all of the points that you made is curation. That's one thing too, and that's why I put Lee's when he hung up your artwork, because that's well thought of, right? Like, he took the time and said, this is what I want, how my collection to look like. And that's what a lot of collectors do forget. They get into this habit of like, oh yeah, buy. Oh, I can't miss this app. Buy. And then next, they have like tons of brown shipper boxes and, newspapers and cats all over, it's just you just become a hoarder. You're not a collector. And what are you doing? And don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of that as well. When all of a sudden, like, there's nothing, and all of a sudden, boom, like a whole bunch of like products come up, and you have like brown stripper boxes in the dining room. Anyway, let's go to Dom. What's your thoughts on this topic, man?
So I think we live in the age of monetizing nerds, right? So
yes,
great point.
There's I'm in sales. I live in the corporate world. I understand data points, and the reason why, like, for example, Lord of the Rings, I'm sure there's a bunch of corporate cronies in Amazon, and they say, hey, we've got this group of Lord of the Rings fans. They make up this much of the population, but what we really wanted to show that gets all of the population. So they could care less if they alienate all the core fans. Let's just be real. They want to make as much money as possible. So as a collector, and as someone who consumes all this stuff, I get to decide if you monetize me, right? So if you're not putting out quality, if it's junk, if you just want to insult Tolkien and remake the whole thing and say, when I read an article from Amazon saying that they don't have enough source material, which is,
oh my god, that sounds like Star Wars.
Insane. Yeah, it's even worse. It's even worse for Tolkien. I mean, there's literally, I think it's called the History of Middle Earth. It's like 5,000 pages long, and only 5,000 pages, and it describes like in intricate detail every freaking rock and crevice and cave in all of Middle Earth, and they don't have source material. But whatever. So if you don't respect me as a fan, I'm not going to spend any money. And if you can make all the money in the world with all the people who aren't like hardcore fans, go nuts. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Do what you got to do. It could be, like Marcel said, it could be a feather in their cap, or it could be an albatross. It could destroy them. I mean, they're spending a ton of money on it, so they got to be careful. If you piss off the core fans and you make a junk show, you just pissed away. I don't know how much they spent, but I think the first season was $1 billion. All right. So
$1 billion?
Yeah, just a season. They're like spending big money on this show. $1 billion just for
5 seasons locked in, I think, for 5 seasons. And each season after the first is supposed to get less expensive. They're blowing their wad on the first one.
Yeah.
To bring everybody in.
Proof is in the pudding, right? Peter Jackson, greatest. I mean, that trilogy, it goes up against any trilogy. And I know I'm on a Star Wars podcast. It goes up against any trilogy.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Watch your words. Watch what you say.
Blasphemy.
And it only takes one thing. He says, I respect the source material. I will be as close as possible to Tolkien's vision. That is what he said. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When someone comes in and says, Tolkien, what the hell does he know? You already lost me. It's over, So when it comes to collecting, I agree with Marcel. Curate. Don't feel like you need to collect everything. I made that mistake in the beginning. I used to collect DC. I got rid of all my DC. I stick to Marvel, Star Wars, and I try to stay in a certain type of piece. I don't do life size or anything like that. But buy what makes you happy. If you buy something and it sounds ridiculous, but I really feel that some collectors buy stuff for collector cred. Right?
Yo, dude, I wanted to, yeah, like it's weird how people are afraid to have a collection. Sorry, I'm sort of making broad strokes here, but it's weird that you wouldn't want to have a collection that just reflected you, so that somebody could walk in and go, wow, like this is a trippy collection. Like this is a signature collection, right? I mean, this isn't just what everybody has. And you want to get evocative questions like, why, immediately you can see there's a style, right?
Yeah.
Like, there is something happening here in this space. Yeah, I don't mean to jump on your train.
No, absolutely. And that's a great point, because I see a lot of this happening in the groups where someone will say, hey, if you had to pick one, which one would you pick? It would be like a Marvel and a Star. I'm like, and my response is that pick the one that you have a more of an emotional connection to. Like, yes, I'm sorry, you have to think. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, what for me, it's always going to be Star Wars. If you put two pieces together, I'm like Marvel, X-Men, or Star Wars. Star Wars, right? So I have more of an emotional connection to. I love both. And that's one thing, too. It's like, we all love all these IPs. We do. We really do. But then at some point, you have to go, which is what you are more passionate about? I'm more passionate about Star Wars. So, no, but it's great points too, and I just feel like, with the collector cred, it's almost like, people like, they're like, oh, yeah, check it out, guys. Like, I got this. I said, okay. But then next, 6 months later, want to sell Ahsoka premium format. It's like, what the? I thought you love that piece.
If you find yourself selling a lot of pieces, that means you're doing something wrong. I made a mistake on my Mythos. I just don't like 1/5 scale. I've got 4 of them. They have, like, if someone came to me and just said, hey, I'll sell them. They don't speak to me. The size just doesn't do it. I fell into that, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's buying it. Oh, I feel like I'm going to miss out. I got to get this.
fear missing it.
FOMO. Yeah.
FOMO. Yeah. And that's a lot of it now, especially now we got the Facebook groups and social media, and everyone's, oh yeah, guys, this is gonna be so awesome. You're like, is it really? Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
this piece is gonna make you happy. It will. This is the one.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Sean. Sean, what's your thoughts on? And I think you're kind of going. We talked about it. I think you're.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle of it. Like, I mean, we live in a time where, yes, it's oversaturated, but it's a good thing though. Like, it could be a bad thing or a good thing. So that's why we're having this discussion. So maybe it'll help somebody. But there's just so much to pick from. And you think, like, I mainly collect Hot Toys, which over the last year I've been getting out of mainly because they just hemorrhage figures and I can't keep up. And a figure will come out and I'll have to wait 1.5 years to get it. Am I going to want to collect Hot Toys in 1.5 years? I don't know. And so, right now I'm getting rid of the ones that I caught myself buying because of the hype. It's like, oh, this, back 6, 7, 8 years ago, we're lucky we got 2 Star Wars Hot Toys a year. And now they just keep coming out. So back then, like, you could just buy them and you really were in love with them. And mainly because they were like OT figures too. So I'm biased on that. So I started looking at my collection and I'm like, I love the OT and I love Rogue One. Those figures aren't going anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And, I'm really into the prop replicas and just, I like having just a nice mixture versus just everything's Hot Toys.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of people, they get FOMO, and they get caught up in the hype in the Facebook groups. And it's hard not to, because, unlicensed and licensed companies, they make fantastic, beautiful pieces of art, because that's what they are, especially when you're getting to the statue world. And the statue world has stepped its game up. I mean, the sculpts are getting really close to Hot Toys, caliber. And it's just, I think you just need to have focus, and like Marcel said, you have to curate it. You have to go, what do I truly love? Like, we talked about this the other day. Like, don't buy because you're scared you're going to miss out on it. Buy it because it deeply, like it means something to you. Buy something that you're going to look at and go, you know what? I don't ever see me getting rid of that. Because how many times we would buy like a figure or a statue just because it does look beautiful and there's hype on it. We buy it. And then, like you said, like 6 months down the road, we're like, just get rid of it. You know, I want to get it because something else cool came out. But if that's something that meant something to you, to your heart, you're not going to get rid of that. You know? So, and I, you know, I'm guilty of it. You know, all the new figures come out. You think you're going to miss out, pre-order. And now I'm like, no, I need to curate it to focus it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could have all the money and all the room and the space you want. You still got to have focus because there's too many things out there to buy. It's crazy.
And that's what, you know, for me, it's getting funkified is what I want to call it. You know, a lot of these like Hot Toys, they're like hemorrhaging figures, right? Like a lot. And they've got like a lot of content to make figures for. A lot. Look at the streaming service alone. Before you think about it back then, how many Marvel movies did you get a year? 2 or 3? Now you're getting the movies and the streaming service.
Yep.
Now look at Star Wars. How many Star Wars content did you get back then? None. 0. There's no. You got maybe a trilogy every 10 years, right, or 20 years. But now it's like, how many shows are we getting? How many figures are we getting from those shows? How many? You know, it's one of those things that you got to decide for yourself. Okay, can I collect all of them? You know, if you can, more power to you, and no one's going to stop you. That's your money. Okay? Can you collect all of them? Okay, great. You have the money for it. Great, do it. Number 2,
yeah, for sure. That's right.
Do you have the real estate for it? So people, it's so my mom's a realtor, so real estate's very important, and Dom knows this, right? He lives in New York. Everything's shot up, like in terms of pricing. So real estate's very important. So it's one of those things too, like when something is going to take real estate in your room, it has to be valuable. Like you just don't want something that you're like, it's all right, because then it's taking up real estate that could be going to something that you actually love. And now, since, you know, comparing to many years ago, when I first got into collecting Hot Toys and statues, and Dom, he's a longtime collector as well. You know, you could buy a statue, it'll sell out, and then you could sell it for sometimes more than what you paid for. Now, it's like you buy a statue, you try to sell it. Is someone going to buy it when there's 20 other new things that's going to be coming out that's better than that statue that you're trying to sell?
Yeah, it's way harder to sell stuff now. It's not the same, man.
Yeah, so like let's say someone I've seen people unloading on their collection, and I've showed Sean some of the posts that were being put out in some of these buy and sell trade groups. A lot of them have admitted, I fell into the FOMO. You know what? I can't complete these collection. You know, some are completionists. They want to get all the Rebels. You know, all the Clone Wars figures, all the OT figures. You know, it's almost like, all right, well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and say, all right, you know, I'm just saying you could do whatever you want. We're not telling you what to do. We're just kind of giving you tips and advice and how we're doing things, you know, and how we're curating our collection. So there's so many studios now. Queen Studios, you got Sideshow, you got Prime One, you got Dark Side Collectibles, you got all these collectible companies making awesome figures and statues. Can you collect all of them realistically?
Nope. Nobody has enough space.
Yeah. You know, so it's like I said, collecting nowadays is so different. So when I first started collecting, there was only Hot Toys, Sideshow, maybe a Prime One, and that was it. Now there's all these collectible companies. And I think it's like you kind of have to really think about what you want in your collection. If there is I always say, if there is a piece in your collection, a statue, whether it be an art print or a statue that you will never ever sell, try to see if you could kind of capture that same feeling for every collectible that you buy in the future.
Yep. The love for it. That's why I said it just comes like, you know, I mean, you know, there's some, you know, Chewy Bus. I always talk about it.
Yeah.
The Regal Robot Chewbacca.
Yeah.
From the day I saw it, I was like,
yeah,
like I'm in love with it. Like I'm still like all all these boxes here, they're all so I can fund that Chewy bus. Because there's no way my wife's going to be like, yeah, go ahead and spend all that money on something that's going to sit on a shelf, you know. But that's something I'm not going to get rid of.
Yeah, and for me, I have a couple pieces. Mythos Vader, I'm never going to sell that piece. My first ever statue, I will never sell. It's the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. So, you know, it's not like the greatest Boba Fett statue, but to me, it means something to me because it was, you know, my wife bought it for me for my birthday. It was my first ever statue, and it was like sentimental. And there's some other pieces in my collection that are very like I just can't get rid of. Like you could tell me, like I'll like you know like with Dom, how you feel about Talon, right? It's you want that same feeling for every piece of in your collection, and I think you know there's way too many collectibles now that you kind of have to start people have to start thinking like, okay, I mean, again, I just feel like now I've seen a lot of collectors unloading on their collection and losing a lot of money because, you know, it's one of those things too that they have to take a hit to sell these things. You know, you can't sell it for primo price like that you used to.
That's a lesson you only need to learn once or twice before you realize you got to just buy what you like.
Yeah.
You know,
the only scary thing about these days, like, there's always going to be something better. You're going to fall in love with that one piece, but eventually there's always going to be something better because there's so many companies making some great things. It's tough.
The competition is great. I like that there's a lot of competition. It's interesting. It also says that there's a lot of people in this hobby. For all these companies to be pumping out all this stuff, they must be doing pretty well because they're selling it. So
well, see, I don't know. I feel like it's like that bubble, right? I feel like there's a bubble that's going to burst. I'm starting to see it happening now because there's one thing too is that like you know people are like, oh, I'm pre-order. It's easy to drop like a $10-$20 pre-order on the figure or $40 deposit on a figure or a statue and forget about it. And then when you get like loads of it coming out at once, then you got people canceling. And then now look at Sideshow's website. Look at how many Hot Toys figures are still in stock. You know, look at it. Infinity War figures, Star Wars figures, they're all still in stock. Look at some of the statues as well. They're still in stock, you know? So it's like, it just, when does the amount of collectibles outnumber the amount of collectors?
Well,
because collecting is a very niche thing, you know.
So bubbles, like you mentioned, a bubble. It's usually with a bubble, it'll happen fast and rapid. It's going to happen all at once. It comes out of nowhere. It's just going to be all of a sudden you're going to see people just bargain basement price stuff.
Yeah. And that's my advice, and I think I was telling Sean this too, is that like I'm going to be waiting in the bushes, you know, when people start unloading some of these like their pieces, like
in the bushes.
yeah. So Dom, I'm waiting. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like
PJ,
for example,
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I'm not in the scene that you guys are in. Believe me, I used to be a hardcore. So I was in the 80s collecting Marvel and DC. Like I had boxes and boxes, and I was a huge comic book collector. I loved it.
I hope you kept those boxes because some of those comics.
I have them, dude. It's crazy.
Oh, dude, you gotta look.
And they're all bagged and boarded. Anyway.
Oh, you're sitting in a gold mine.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I was a smart kid. I don't know what happened to me, but earlier I was smart. So I'm not much of a collector now. And I'm not into the Star Wars thing, but I'm in the Star Wars scene because of what I do. The first time I saw the Mythos Revan statue, that to me was like, that was the first time I ever really wanted to buy anything, and I didn't even know who Revan was when I saw the statue. So every other statue that I have seen since, in my, you know, I guess you could say in my heart, has to meet or surpass that statue. What is that statue for you? So for me, it's just a matter of taste. It's that's my taste, and so I'm going to ask the everybody here. So for me, like, you show me that Luke, the Bespin Luke today. I'm like, the first thing I think of is, how does that, I know they're not even remotely the same, but in terms of like how you guys are talking about curating and what you're going to spend your money on, right? I have to have an ideal, right? You know what I mean? And it has to, and I want sort of that reflects my creative enthusiasm in what it is that I want to see in my space. So for you, what is like do you have a one statue that you measure everything else against, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel or whatever?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. I do. So for me, if my house was like, knock on wood, like on fire, right? The one statue that I will probably be grabbing is two statues. Probably my Regal Robot Rancor statue and my Mythos Vader. Oh man, and then my Iron Studios Vader. And then my Boba Fett.
Back the truck up.
Oh God. And what about the kids, PJ? Oh man.
No.
They can carry the stuff out.
Kids, you guys have one
PJ,
statue.
the house is not on fire. There's nothing negative going on. What statue speaks to you the most?
What speaks to me the most is that the Mythos Vader. There's so much story behind that statue, and it's just one of those things. Like I said, Vader and Anakin, my favorite Star Wars character of all time. So it's one of those pieces that will forever be in my collection. And I will never. I can't sell it as much as I try to, or if I fall in hard times, I probably be sleeping in the streets with that statue. But
Dom.
Oh man, I was just looking around.
It's a
I gotta say, and it hurts me to say it, and there's a reason why it hurts me to say it. It's Talon, because I sold her like an idiot, and I had to buy her back, and I had paid twice from what I sold her for.
Yeah.
It
happened,
and I don't even know. I don't even know what it is about the character or the sculpt that I like. Well, I know that her expression, I don't know if you know the piece. Just her look is like, I know I'm a badass and I got a lot of shit going on. I want
to look it up now.
Yeah, and there's an arrogance.
Who built it? Who made it? Talon.
Sideshow. Sideshow's Darth Talon. There's an arrogance in the face sculpt that I feel like no other piece has ever captured.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, it's something about it. It just says, I'm the shit, just get out of my way. And it's all in the eyes. That's the piece that's speaks.
All right, Sean, you're next, bro.
How many do I get?
No, one, bro. The top, the peak.
It's probably
by the way, just wanted to show you
that's
more so. This is the Darth Talon.
There you go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's her. That's her.
Pretty cool.
I would it's probably going to be my Phil Robinson's Darth Maul bust, because he sculpted that. He makes them to order. So to me, I look at it like he made that for me. But I really like my XM Studios Luke Skywalker statue.
Yeah, that's a great piece too.
But I look at it like I can find that XM pretty much anywhere if I wanted it. And Phil, just having someone make something that amazing, I would probably grab that and run.
Yeah. But see, and that's my point, is that you want those type of pieces in your collection. I mean, why can't you say that about every piece?
I know. I'll never get rid of Robinson's that piece. No.
And I think in terms of like how I'm collecting now, is that I'm gravitating to those things. To be honest, I like Hot Toys and I love what they're doing, but I gotta be realistic. Like, really, do I want it's cool if that's all you collect, but I collect other things as well. And realistically, can I have like 250 plus figures in my collection? Can I? No,
Good.
I would.
Mean,
Yeah, I mean that would be the only thing I would be collecting. Now, if I didn't collect statues, yeah, but I just think that like now it's almost like now, as much as I love the Mandalorian, as much as I love Boba Fett, it's almost like now I'm going back to the roots of my love for Star Wars, original trilogy, Revenge of the Sith. And it's like, okay, now that will be like my goal in my collection to curate my collection towards that.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at Marcel's beautiful. It keeps staring at me, by the way, Marcel. The friggin' Ian McDermott, like Emperor, dude. Like I'm thinking, it's like things like that you want in your collection, So I just think that it's a battle. It's a battle as a collector, and now these are really hard times. Tough times, should I say, not just with just like affording these pieces, but being really picky in what you want in your collection. There's so much, and you know for a fact that there's going to be always something better, always.
Yep.
But for me, Mythos Vader and Darth Talon, perfect example. They're old pieces, but still classic.
They speak to you. They speak to you.
Yeah, and that's what I want in my collection. So
yeah, I want that Mythos Vader, by the way.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I will sell to you the minute that Dom sells me his Darth.
Dom, get on it, brother.
Just to end though, I think we all agree, but I think if we all do an honest reflection, there's pieces. If you look around your room, there's stuff that you didn't really need to buy.
Yep.
But it sucks to really admit it. You look around like, yeah, well, I have that. And those are the ones you should avoid. So.
Yeah, I'll give you a perfect example. Do I need this in my collection? No, probably not. I probably, to be honest, watch me sell this thing in probably like a year.
Just send it to me, bro.
3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, but it's Star Wars. I love it, and it's a curiosity too because I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna look. I want to see it. I'll add it to my collection. But it's almost like, can I really like keep being in the same pace of like really trying to collect everything Star Wars? And I honestly can't say. I can honestly say I can't.
Well, there's something to be said for maturing as a collector, and you have an early stage of enthusiasm, which is a really enjoyable high.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you come off the high because you're maturing and you're becoming, hopefully anyway, if you have a sort of sense about what it is that you're doing, you're developing a more discerning taste for what it is that you want to have around you, which is in itself another kind of high where you now are enjoying parsing out the stuff that you really enjoyed buying, but it's not really where you're at anymore. So let's get rid of that and bring in and really focus on what it is that you want to do. So it's just, in my humble opinion, it's just representative of different stages of collecting.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say that because when you first get into the hobby, right? I've seen it with anybody that first got into the hobby, is that they go crazy. I went crazy. Dom, did you go crazy when you first got in?
Affirmative, yes.
Yes. Did you go crazy picking up like things that a lot of us do because it's that high and you can't get enough of it. But then when you come off that high, you go, oh shoot, what did I just do? It's like almost eating Chinese food. It tastes so good. But then after you finish eating it, you're like, oh my God, there goes my cholesterol.
It's like being married for 20 years. It's not like it was the first 5 years. It's a completely different.
Too harsh.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah. So I think, you're right. You're definitely absolutely right. Right now
I'm sorry, I for interrupting you. I try to avoid an unnecessary put down and try to put things in their most positive context as possible.
Yeah.
And growth is a natural thing, and it's unavoidable, and it has these kinds of changes where you take things on and you take things off, and you go through these changes. And listening to you guys, I mean, that's how I live vicariously as a Star Wars collector through you, and listening to how you're talking, it's that you're maturing in your focus on what it is that really makes you happy. And there's a lot of love for the earlier stage, and not only has your earlier stage of collecting left you behind, but that stage of the collecting world is now gone. You know, and that's what you guys are talking about with this influx of new product. And it's you know, it's going to change a person, and it's a positive thing. I think an abundance of Star Wars collectibles is a great problem to have. I think it's like what Sean said, you know, including the shows, right? You just want to, with the shows, you know, you just hope that it's going to be great. And for your collection, you have the choice of making it great and not just getting everything.
Yeah. So, you know, it's definitely growth, right? Definitely growth in as a collector, where you go from wanting everything and then now like slowly focusing on your things. But even sometimes when you get to that point of your collecting life of focusing, there's still like way too much products being put out, and you're even though you've like, I've focused from, okay, I cut out Marvel, I cut out DC. Well, I still have these pieces, but in terms of future pieces, like I'm not even looking at them. So I cut that out, and then I'm sticking with Star Wars. But even with just say, oh, I'm just gonna just collect Star Wars and the Mandalorian. But even then there's way too much things happening, and now you're even focusing even more,
right,
into I can't collect all the Star Wars. I have to just maybe just do original trilogy and some of the characters I love.
Just collect what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, or really,
but I like everything.
What you love, what you love.
Even then, you love everything, though. That's a
but
hard
I
thing.
don't understand. I'm not a completionist. I don't understand the concept. That means I have to buy pieces that I don't like just to fill in the whole collection. I never understood. So you don't have to collect all of the Mandalorian stuff. Just get the guys you like and mix. And it's you. The collection is you. Like, if you ever come to my collection room, when you're all more than welcome to come, my collection is me. It's just stuff I like. It doesn't have to make any sense at all. I have next to my Darth Talon, I have a Gandalf. Does that make any sense?
How dare you?
You know, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't.
It's
me. No, but that's no, but that's I agree.
You know, it's stuff I like. My collection represents me. And if you go, so in my man cave, I have my own bathroom, and I have my own collection in the bathroom. It's all Godzilla and like I like old Marvel horror comics that I have all over the wall. It has nothing to do with anything other than I grew up with it. I like it. It represents a different aspect of my childhood. I was a big Godzilla fan for no reason. I just, as a kid, I like to watch Godzilla smash buildings. So I have a little room dedicated to my Godzilla stuff.
Yeah. But
you know, no sense, you know, whatever.
But you know, your collection represents you, and you know, all these different types of IPs. And you know, it's crazy as it is. It maybe represents how crazy you are. That's
yeah. I think
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's cool. Gandalf should battle Darth Talon. That would make a cool YouTube video.
But you know what? We're gonna have a part 2 to this conversation later on, another time. But we're definitely running out of time here. I just want to say I know, but you know, great points, guys. Seriously, I think you know this is the stuff that's, you know, one thing I noticed that no one wants to talk about these type of topics, right? You know, it's just like people avoid them, and they want to just talk about buy, which is fine. But once in a while, it's good to like have these conversations once in a while, just to kind of like bring you back to reality. It's like, you know what? I can't collect everything. Let's focus. All right. So I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good time watching us and listening to us talk about how much we hate the sequels.
Yeah.
Collecting Marcel's beautiful artwork. So one thing I love about Marcel's artwork is that it's the presence, and I definitely want that Maul.
Yeah,
I already know. I have a Darth Maul bust, and Sean knows it. I am planning my little room, my corner,
Your little Maul temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want that.
I'm ready, Marcel. I'm ready, Marcel.
Yeah, I want that Emperor too.
Marcel,
Sean.
Yeah,
we'll be talking, Marcel. I definitely want to. I'm in.
Hit me up in the DMs, bro.
Yeah. So I'll
any old time I'm here. I'm working all day long. I love the breaks to talk to cool folks.
That's one thing about artwork as well. Obviously the original work is going to be very expensive, but in terms of the artwork and art prints, it's not as expensive as a statue or or a life-size bust or anything like that. It's one thing too. It's like you could have all these things in your collection. It just like I said, it just it brings your collection to life.
You're going to be crying remembering this conversation if you go to Celebration. Because your wallet is going to be on fire.
To be honest, I'm in that dilemma right now. Like, do I go to Celebration, spend money there, or stay home, watch Celebration through YouTube, which a lot of us can do, and just spend the money on collectibles? So we'll see. We'll see. But I do want to meet some of the viewers and listeners in Celebration. So we'll see. I still have time to think about it. But first of all, I want to say, like I said, thank you to the chat. Thank you to Marcel for hopping on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Please support this amazing artist and his beautiful work. You could see for yourself the details that has gone into making some of these amazing pieces. And like I said, I've shown you some wall space, of these beautiful artwork hung up, and they look great. So much presence.
Lee does a good job. Yeah, stop by the Instagram, throw me a follow, hit me in the DMs. We can chat about whatever. Just if you're a fan of Star Wars or Gandalf or whatever. Actually, I'm actually thinking of expanding into Lord of the Rings.
Oh man!
Dom's done.
Dom's done.
Take his money.
Yeah, I've seen some. Did you guys see? Sorry, I'm going to extend this just a tiny bit. Did you see that massive Lord of the Rings Sauron piece?
6 foot tall. It's 6 foot tall. It's crazy.
Who the hell? I'm going to tell you right now. If I really, really want to get divorced, I just buy that piece. Seriously, if I go, hey babe, you know what? This is not working out. Oh no, we're gonna work this out.
Send a message.
Bring the Sauron piece. That's done.
You'll get divorced just for the box itself.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anyway, for the folks that want to that buy artwork from me, if you have any specific requests, some people like to have a deckled edge and some people like to have this, that, and the other thing. Hit me up in the direct message, and I'm happy to do whatever I can for everybody. Yeah. So follow my Instagram, visit my website. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marcel. That's awesome.
And just guys, remember we've got the Michelle Nooney exclusive, the Sith Cath exclusive print out there. So hit her up. We've got what did they say, 27 of them, and I think 5 or 7 or so already spoken for.
So
hit her up.
Again, it's just one of these pieces that I'm gonna share real quick. Is amazing. Michelle does amazing work. Marcel does amazing work. Support these artists. They do great work. And to be honest, and Dom knows, the artists, amazing artists like this start off as a certain level, and then once more people realize how amazing their work is, I'm telling you, that's what happened to Art Germs. Stanley Lau, right? Remember Dom?
Yep.
Yeah, he started off. No one came to his booth in New York Comic Con. You know, he was doing commissions, $200. Now you know how much he's doing commissions for a little like comic book cover.
I don't know what he's at now.
2,000.
Yeah,
nice, good for him.
So, you know, I would love. I mean, as much as you know, I would like to. I should buy them now because then next thing you know, I go to like Celebration. Marcel's like, "Hey, Marcel, can you do?" No. Yeah, $2,000, buddy.
Get in line, bro. Get in line.
Yeah, get in line. Exactly. So yeah, definitely support our artists like Marcel and Michelle. They do amazing work, and trust me, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. So
That's true.
Yeah. Dom, thank you again for hopping on this show.
No, absolute pleasure. A lot of fun.
Dude. So finally, and dude, I had a lot of fun. Seriously. I know we bust each other's chops, but I love you, man. You're my brother from another mother. So we always talk.
Gotta have you over. Like we said, cigars by the pond.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring this so that we could do that trade, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah. I'll throw in Panda Express as well. I have a gift card.
Wow, I get some General Tso.
Oh, no, orange. Yeah, those orange chickens to die for. Sean, another one in the books.
Another one in the books. This was good.
You know what's crazy? It's like me and Sean was like, we're going to do this an hour and a half.
Yeah. We said that today.
Oh, is that what the plan was?
It's never the case.
We're 3 hours in.
But it's great conversations. I can't say, oh, like, okay, guys, you know, like, no, I'm going to let it happen. So if, you know.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, again, thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Dom. Thank you to
Nice
everyone.
to meet you, Dom.
You got nice to meet you too, Marcel. We'll be
Thanks,
chatting.
Don.
Yeah,
man.
And to everyone out there listening and watching, may the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. Take care.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.